Hello!
Oh, Jesus, that
Wow. I am now blind and deaf, ladies and gentlemen.
I see, I expected it, so I turned my headphones down. Very good.
Wow, all my phones are pinging, so we must be live.
Here we go.
All right, we're just going to give it a minute or two, make sure we're all live on all the platforms, and then we'll begin. Hey, Google, what sound does a dolphin make?
This is what dolphins sound like. Do you want to hear another animal sound?
No. All right, guys. So we heard what a dolphin sounds like. Well, you guys probably didn't hear it because it's just a very kind of a chirpy noise. But anyway, welcome to the latest episode of the Blind Tech Guys podcast. Well, hello. All right, welcome to the latest episode of the Blind Tech Guys podcast. My name is Nimmer. And today we are turning old, guys. This is episode number 75.
Wow, 3/4 of the way to the century.
Yes.
Hey, sheesh.
And my
That's
name
about
is
an
Nimmer.
episode for every year we've been alive, right, Nimmer?
Thank you. Thank you.
You've aged well. Sheesh.
Yes, thank you. I'm located in, I don't know, Zimbabwe today. Why not? I'll join
Oh, you
Robert
live
from
Robert.
Zimbabwe.
Very good.
Anyway, very glad to have you guys with us today. My name is Nimmer, as I said, and I've got some people with me that we drug in from wherever they're from. Hello. Hello.
Oh, hello.
Oh, very good. All right. Hello, Marco.
I'm coming to you today from Venezuela, and I'm sounding very Australian. So, hello,
Wow.
Nimmer. Yeah, do you like that? Oh, and by the way, if you're 75, aren't you supposed to have some sort of lisp, like ish, sort of like ish? You know?
Well, I've kept up with my dental, so I don't really have much of a lisp at all. You know, very good.
Oh, your accent changed as well as you got older. That's quite good. Yeah.
Yes, thank you. Well, hello, ladies. I have two more people with me. Two more ladies, or I guess guys, or whatever. Well, I guess maybe they're gone. All right, well.
Hey there, everybody. It's Dennis.
Wow, Dennis, you're new. That's cool. How did you get here? Weren't you on some other podcast or something?
Yeah, something like that. Figured I would jump in and join you and add some interesting topics.
Who's this Dennis guy? I don't know Dennis. What's going on here? Who are you? Hello? Welcome to the pod, Dennis. It's good to have you on board. And I'm not sure what's going on with Kurt, because he's usually chimed in by now.
Yeah, he's vanished. He'll probably log back in once he realizes he's vanished.
He's done a walker. Very good.
Dennis has replaced Kurt, I guess.
Yeah, we got rid of Kurt. He's gone. Kish, kish. Yeah.
Yeah, we can't keep anyone around long enough. We always just...
It's usually just...
He's scheduled to do a couple.
It's usually just us good old boys, and we bring in a few good old boys as well. But, you know, it is what it is.
That's right.
Well, welcome, Dennis, and it's great to have you on, especially with your knowledge of Android and iPhone, because obviously you use both platforms from what I hear.
Yeah, I mean, unfortunately or fortunately, depending on how you look at it, I mean, iOS is my primary. I'm a keyboard user. I'd rather use Android. Unfortunately, I've said it many a times. I'll say it again. The keyboard access on Android, as far as like when you're in apps, you don't have the same ability you do on iOS, where you can, if I can find it with the touchscreen on iOS, I can click it with the keyboard. And unfortunately, you don't have that same level of access. Talkback, let's give it credit where credit's due. 1 is released or going to be shortly. If you don't have it, I would assume you'd have it in the next week or two. But it is getting better. The Braille keyboard, the multi-fingered gestures, so it's getting better. But like every piece of software, it can improve. So I'm hoping that one of these versions, there's keyboard support and
Everybody, sorry
where
about
you
that.
can interact.
Hello, welcome.
you?
Who's this guy?
Who are you?
Hi.
We don't know you.
Well, if I know who I am anymore. Yeah, sorry guys, my internet
Oh, is
broke.
this Walker? Hello, welcome. I was wondering what had happened to you because we were all going hello, and then there was this pregnant pause. It was like
Yep.
something big was about to happen.
my internet died, and I was turning on my hotspot, and then it came back alive again. So didn't even plan it.
You know, Austin, if you're listening to this, I think it's a conspiracy because my internet's been dying and Marco's been dying and now Kurt's dying. What's going on here?
Yeah, what's going on? There's some sort of dodgy internet. I don't know, whatever you call it.
Trying to
going.
keep us off the
Yeah.
air.
No, I'm totally
that's right.
kidding.
All
But
right,
anyway,
so what do we got on the show today, Mr. Nimoy?
Yes, we got a long news section
have.
filled with lots of news between Marco and Dennis. They've kept us supplied with news, so thank you to both of you. And actually, thank you to our listeners because a lot of them came from other people. So thank you very much. And so we're going to have that. We're going to be talking about dolphins today, but not the animal, not the fun thing that lives in the water, the screen reader. And I'm going to tell you exactly why I think you should not be using Dolphin. I mean, I'll tell you all about Dolphin. Well, let's put it that way. And then we've got Marco with telling us about health. He's going to talk to us about Samsung Health, and he's going to keep us all healthy. We've got a Did You Know section from Kurt. I'm sure Dennis will chime in with his lovely commentary as well and maybe add in a few things. And we've got a really long email section this week, so we've made up for the last 2-3 weeks of nothing, and we've got a ton of emails. So that's what we're going to do today.
Emails where we're getting millions of dollars.
Yeah, no millions of dollars. Well, I don't know. I haven't checked the spam folder. It's possible. But anyway, I'm very glad that you guys are with us. And we've had an upsurge in people listening to the podcast.
It's been crazy.
Which is very good. I think we got something like 300 in 2 days listening to this last podcast that we put up. And, also our email list has gotten a bit more traffic. So anyway, definitely thank every one of you for listening to the podcast. And we wouldn't be here without all of you and your feedback and your listenership. So thank you. Also, these times aren't always easy for everybody, but one thing that Blind Tech Guys we are is a community. And so if there is anything that you guys need, definitely reach out to us and we'll try to help in whatever way. So, but anyway.
Now, if you need $1 million,
guys.
that might be a bit difficult.
I might have to put you in contact with one of our people that have reached out to us. So
yeah, M-Date. We'll put you in contact with M-Date. They're always pretty good for a loan.
Yes, definitely.
But no, I also wanted to
6969 at MDate.
Oh, well, I also wanted to follow up as well and thank everyone that's tuned in this week. It's been completely unexpected. Obviously, people like when events happen, Nim and Kurt and Dennis, because they just, I don't know where they came from. I think we've now got 385 from the last pod, which is crazy.
Wow.
For what's that, 3 days?
Wow.
So that was pretty, that's by far our most listened to show. So welcome to all the new listeners. Stick around. Hopefully you've subscribed. That'd be good.
That's right. And we are still up to 72 countries. We are heard in 44 states and Washington, D.C. So thank you all for listening wherever you may be. And as we go forward throughout the pod, if there's any questions that you have and you're listening live, please feel free to leave those comments in the chat. Of course, we'll take time to answer them. Otherwise, you can always fill out our feedback form on the website, blindtechguys.com. Or email us. Simply just email us, contact@blindtechguys.com. That is the same email address for emails and inquiries and anything else you might want to send. And also remember that we do have a donation form. So if you'd like to donate, you value the content, you think that you'd like to see more of it and would like to support us, please feel free to use that donation form. Definitely appreciate that. Again, at blindtechguys.com. And always check out our Facebook page, group, Twitter, Telegram, WhatsApp. All these things are on the website. So thank you very much, and check those out.
Can I just chime in here for a second, Noah?
Yes.
Also, if you donate, and you don't have to, but if you do, it's appreciated. But that also goes for content, podcasts, apps, demos, product demos. So, if you do, it definitely is appreciated.
Yep, that's exactly right.
Any little bit helps.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, even if you donate
whatever.
$5, $2,
Yep,
I mean,
that's exactly right.
Awesome.
All right. Well, I think, am I missing anything, guys?
I think that's pretty much it.
yeah,
And welcome to the 3 that are tuning in at the moment. Hopefully you have some comments for us as we go on, as you said before.
Yes. What's new in the news?
So I believe this first article, Nim, was shared by... I'm not sure if I found this one or if it was shared by a listener. I actually can't remember. But Microsoft is having a bit of a seminar, I guess, for 2 or 3 days, starting, I believe, May 5th. So a little bit early on the uptake, maybe, to put this in at the moment, but just to give people a bit of notice. Microsoft and accessibility. This should be interesting.
Yep, and I think this article came through, and I want to thank Dave Goldfield. He does have a mailing list where he gathers content from other mailing lists and forwards them onto his list. So I think I may have seen this on there, and I'm sure it's been shared around a lot too. But anyway, I do want to thank David Goldfield for that great resource. And
he provides a lot of useful content, and I see a lot of his
It's
stuff.
amazing where he gets all his stuff from, because it's
Flying
crazy.
the Flying Blind newsletter too, or the top tech tidbits.
Yeah, that's another excellent resource.
Yeah, and they're great as well. They actually mention us in their newsletter, and we were mentioned again by Strap as well. So always thank you to those people who do mention us in their newsletters. And Strap.tech, for you guys don't know, is the new Kane replacement. Go check out our episode number 62 to learn about Strap. And definitely they are still taking pre-orders, $500 for a pre-order.
That thing can't get wet though, can it?
I'm not sure. I think we all have to wait and find out about what. I mean, I'm sure it'll have some level of waterproofing. We did talk to them about that in the rain, and they did say that some sensors would be affected, but other sensors would probably still work. But I'm not sure exactly what they're going to do with that.
Find out.
That's a pricey proposition to know that if you get it in the rain, you're in California or somewhere where you get a lot of rain, one rainstorm.
We did ask them about that, and I think we'll just have to wait and see how things are. I mean, I've been trying to get us a unit to test as well, and so far they're not really communicating very well with us. But apparently they are working with a lot of testers, and so I'm hopeful that they'll do something good. But anyway, their pre-orders are live, $500 pre-order. The price when it does actually ship, which will be later this summer, will be $750. So you can save $250 off. By the way, they're not paying us to advertise this. I'm just throwing this out here. So,
well, just for our Australian listeners, because I've seen the prices in the last couple of weeks. Apparently, over here, you're looking at around about $1,500 for the actual unit total cost. So that'll be a nice pricey little thing. Funnily enough, it's just underneath the limit that you can claim on the National Disability Insurance Scheme. Funny that.
Interesting how that works.
Yes, amazing. Now, just to quickly go into this Microsoft thing, there's a few bullet points here that they're expecting in terms of their agenda items. Keynotes from Microsoft executives and notable members from the disability community. Expert panels featuring exciting and innovative people. Demos of the latest accessibility features in Office, Windows, etc., etc. And apparently all sessions will be recorded and then later on posted in the appropriate places. So apparently registrations start in March. It doesn't actually say here, I don't think, what date they start, but maybe if you have a look around, you'll be able to find out. And the actual conference is on May 5th and 6th for anyone that's interested.
What they do for Xbox. I'd love to see mainstream video games
They probably will.
become accessible.
I think it's coming, or at least more of it. We had The Last of Us 2 not that long ago that was accessible.
Yeah, MLB The Show's coming to Xbox this year, and I'd love to be able to sit and play that sucker.
I agreed, Dennis. we could probably do a whole other podcast on that.
Yeah.
Well, let's skip down to the third article. We do have one here about Xbox.
Indeed.
And this one, Microsoft's investments make Xbox a leader in gaming accessibility. That's interesting.
Now, I have heard a lot about accessibility with the Xbox. I'm not an Xbox user myself and never have been.
I don't have one either.
But I have heard a lot about that they have made them very accessible. Maybe the article details a bit more here, Nim.
Well, here's my thing, and I'll go into this article here in a second, but I'm just going to share a couple of thoughts on the Xbox. No matter how accessible you make the platform itself, so no matter, even if you put narrator on the Xbox, and they have done that, even if you make Xbox very accessible and the unit itself is great, the fact is that game designers need to do a lot more to focus on people with disabilities, because no matter how accessible you make your Xbox, the games that run on top of it, a lot of them, 99% of them are not accessible.
Right.
And I think they were demoing one game which might be accessible, or talking about one game which might be accessible. I'm sorry, I'm not going to buy a gaming system for $500 or whatever it is just to play one game.
Me neither.
It's not something I'm going to do.
Well, the only game that I've ever played on an Xbox, there's actually two that I've played on Xbox. One was a tennis game and one was a baseball game. And now, I mean, those sorts of games, okay, you can kind of... I don't think they deliberately made those accessible, just simply because you've got to swing at the right time.
Right.
So it's all about sound.
In MLB 12, the show, which I have for the PS3, that's the last accessible version.
Yeah.
You have to have a pair of headphones plugged in. But there's a slight sound that you can hear and time your swing just right. They yanked
again, as I said before, I don't think they've deliberately done...
No,
and this
they
is
didn't.
the whole thing. The game developers aren't... Well, maybe I'm being a bit generalistic, but I don't think they're interested in accessibility. They're interested in making something look great and work as it should do and blah, but,
The flip side of that, though, is it just takes... Because there's just a few big names, it just takes one or two people. The Last of Us 2 made their game accessible on PlayStation, I think, last year. And, that made quite the buzz just from one title. And yes, I'm not going to sit here and say, that's equality or inclusion. But, I'm at a friend's house. They've got an Xbox. There are a couple games I could play. I think that's how awareness starts. A long way to go from there, but... still kind of cool.
Yeah, I agree. I'm just not going to rush out and buy an Xbox for one game.
I'm not either.
And the thing is that
100%.
even if that baseball game or whatever game is accessible to some extent, just because it happens to be, most of the time the menus and such are not. So if you want to adjust the game options, those are not accessible.
Yeah, and that's the problem. I mean, if you could get EA to jump on board with accessibility for the Xbox, they put out several titles a year. Yeah. So, I mean, if you can get one of the big ones, EA puts out Madden, that thing sells every year. If they made that accessible.
We're probably
do you know how much, when I used to have a little bit of sight and I used to play these games, do you know how much I enjoyed playing NBA and stuff? I mean, stuff like that, that'd be cool to be able to...
Yeah, hockey.
I don't know how the hell you'd make that accessible, but it would be pretty interesting. I'm not exactly sure how you'd work that one out.
Well, I think developers of mainstream games can learn a lot from... There's a lot of different audio games out there. Jim Kitchen, I think, made a lot of games in his time. Unfortunately, he's passed, but in his time, he made a lot of sports games
many
accessible.
Yeah. They're still
Windows,
fun to play.
And they're really
they
basic.
are. I still do. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and they're very, very basic games. I mean, they're very lightweight. They run on a computer. But hey, if one of these mainstream games decide to do things with audio, there's a lot they could do. But
And especially now that you've got audio that's surround sound, etc.,
That's right.
360-degree audio, and some of the stuff that comes out, especially on the iPhone more so than Android. There are a couple of games out on Android as well, but there's lots of possibilities for this sort of stuff. No
So
doubt
if you
about
are
it.
gaming developers, please consider. I mean, I applaud Microsoft and anyone who focuses on this, because a lot of the times companies think, oh, why do we need to make this accessible to blind people? You know, blind people aren't going to play these games. And I don't like that. I don't like that kind of attitudes, that graphical things shouldn't be made accessible. And so if you're a developer and you're considering a space to go into, this would be it, you know?
Yeah.
If
I
you make a
mean,
game accessible, or if you have a game available to be played, people go nuts over it. I can attest to that. It's you would see people jump into that sphere, I reckon, pretty quickly, especially younger people that are into that, and more so even, you know, the older people, I guess. So
yeah, I mean, there's money to be made. They're losing out on a market. We are a market. We are people. We are a market. So I hope in the next year that things become accessible. We'll see.
So a lot of the settings are things that Microsoft has done in terms of accessibility haven't even been blindness, towards blindness. They've been like special controllers for people with physical disabilities and that kind of thing, different adaptive controllers. So
Yeah. And a lot of these controllers can be used by well, I think again it's not intentional. I think it's just, you know, circumstance that it's happened. But like, for example, a boxing game that I used to play, you would get a slight vibration before you knew you were going to get punched. Now, I think that was probably designed with other disabilities in mind, but it also helps us out. So just certain things that they can do.
all kinds of technology wants to know. My question is, TalkBack is not reading any permission of any Telegram group. Can we take any initiative? I am talking about the latest version of TalkBack. Yeah. When you go to set up permissions and you're an admin of a Telegram group, there's just a bunch of checkboxes and they're not labeled. It is an issue I've reported to the Telegram developers, but I think the more people that report it, the better. So if you're listening to this and you care about Telegram accessibility and want the developers to fix this, then definitely report it to them.
And if you want to report it to them, because I've put a few of these in my time, you need to do it on their GitHub channel. It's probably one of the better places to do it. Yeah, it's not too bad, though. It's a pretty easy process. Once you sign up to where you need to sign up, it actually works pretty well.
I found that place to be at.
Now, I haven't checked in Telegram, but a lot of apps do have a help and feedback section within their app that
Yeah,
you can actually
they
submit
should
feedback directly
do,
through the
maybe.
app. So if they do, then you can submit feedback that way. I don't know. I haven't looked. But
Yeah,
you certainly
I haven't
can do
either.
it that way.
But many
if-
of us have
if it
reported
exists.
this
Many
issue
apps do.
to this. What's the person's name? All Tech or something? Did you say? All Technologies, whatever the name was there. I do apologise. I think quite a few of us
Getting big
has reported
companies
it.
to move on accessibility issues I found over the years is a pain.
Yeah, they do take a little while to move on stuff sometimes, Tug. I mean, they sort of seem to do it in bursts as well. When they move, like they seem to crush a few issues pretty quickly, and then it takes a while again. And
Yep, because they think they're done.
yeah, they kind of sort of seem to do it in bursts. So hopefully they'll burst out with a few fixes soon. We'll see.
Apple Store is rolling out sign language interpreting appointments for free at their stores. I think this is really great. If you are deaf-blind or just deaf, or have a hard of hearing, this is really good. So
kudos
we have
to
an
Apple
article
for
in
that.
here on that, and this is what they're doing. I think that's a wonderful thing. I'd like to applaud them because they are part of the disability community. I think that's really good.
Yeah, I think it's excellent. I found this one a couple of days ago, and apparently you need to go onto the webpage for your local store, make an appointment, and request the sign interpreter, and then the local store will follow up and ensure that happens. And I think that's brilliant. That's something that is well overdue. I think that's excellent. I don't care which company comes out with that. That's just brilliant. That's well
No,
overdue.
I completely agree.
Yeah.
Hopefully other companies keep following Apple's lead and do this thing that Apple starts.
Look, I'd like to see this. I'd also like to see companies ask. So when you buy a product, they ask you what format do you want the directions to come in.
Yeah.
So instead of sending you a print
100%.
pamphlet, do you want one on a flash drive or a Braille? I'd like to see Braille on packaging itself. I'd like to see I think this is a great thing.
Yeah, but
So
how
I'd
many
like to see
times
other
have we been
companies
into
go
a
in this
store?
space.
How many times have we been into a store and they say, "Oh, can you sign these terms and conditions?" Now, where's my Braille copy? Or
That's
Right.
there's an
How do you
alternative
read these
format. How do I
terms?
read these things? Now, obviously, I'm probably going to sign them because I've gone there to buy the product, but
Yeah.
that's not the point. It should still be
That's right.
available. So,
Exactly.
I think it's really important that we have a long way to go. I think people keep talking about how far we've come in the term and work in terms of ADA, but I actually think we're going backwards.
we've got to.
We are.
They're
Oh
all
yeah.
I
I
don't
mean,
agree more.
I think
Yeah.
we've actually gone backwards because in the
Yeah.
in the process of becoming more digital, we've actually left out so many people in terms
No.
of accessibility.
well, not only that. I mean, take the web just for example. How many websites are poorly designed today?
Yeah.
Well, But not only
Yeah.
that, actually, I was talking to a couple of people about this in another group today. Even accessibility of products. How many products do you buy these days that are just completely touchscreen? Now, yes, some of them have, and I've discovered this over the last few days because I've been buying a couple of white goods. You can get apps that control them, but I think that's just by, again, pure coincidence that's happened, and it's probably because it's convenient for people.
Yeah.
You know,
Well, and a lot
all
of the
these
times
products
you
are
need
terrible.
sighted assistants to even set
Yeah.
up the apps.
Exactly. And now, for example, if I want to set up the new dishwasher we're getting, I actually need somebody to tap on that button to go to Wi-Fi, or I can get Ira or something or whatever. But
That's right.
I can't just do it myself because there is absolutely no buttons on that thing. So
Well, and I mean, you want to get into accessibility of apps. Try setting up a routine in your Alexa app for like lights, etc. When you go to adjust the slider for brightness, or if you set a routine for temperature or the like, that slider says, and on Android or iOS, 58%, 38%, 74%. You have to hit it and hold it just right and slowly drag your finger.
yeah, and
Well,
then you've got to make
that's
sure
the
that you do it
problem.
correctly. Well, you're always
If
going to
you're a
miss, and
keyboard
it's a lot of mucking
Yeah.
around. Yeah.
I heard
agree.
you wake up your personal assistant there, Dennis.
Yeah,
With that
I hit the mute button. No, I didn't want to wake you up.
If you are, I mean, this is, if you care about this, I think we just need to all focus and get together as a community to figure out solutions. The blindness organizations are failing the blind community.
Oh, absolutely.
They are not actually
Absolutely.
doing anything about this stuff. Instead, they're doing frivolous things, to me, it seems like. And so I really wish that there would be a community of people that would really get together and work on this stuff. But the blindness agencies themselves are just failing the
Well,
blind
over
community.
here
They're
in
not-
20
I
they're not
agree.
doing
up until
anything.
about 20 years ago over here, we used to have it was sort of like an unwritten, and this is the problem, was an unwritten sort of agreement that we would follow and try to have things conform so that, standards were followed, so that blind, deaf, whatever, could utilize those products. Now, that seems to have fallen by the wayside. And I remember saying to a lecturer of mine about 15 years ago when I was at university, geez, we've got it so good at the moment, but imagine what it's going to be like in 15, 20 years. There is no way that I would have thought at that time that we'd be in, and I completely agree with what you guys have said. We've gone backwards big style, and we're continuing to go backwards. There is absolutely no doubt
Unfortunately,
about it.
yes.
No
I
doubt.
mean, is it going to get better?
Well, I think the way things
I
are,
hope.
I think it will do. To be perfectly blunt about it, I really don't see it getting better because there's no uniform law around this stuff. There's nothing that's
No.
really in place anywhere. So
what we need are some blind people to get together and file some really big class action lawsuits, billion-dollar lawsuits. And maybe those will hit home with these companies, will hit their
Exactly.
pocketbooks, and then maybe they might consider possibly.
yeah,
Well, look at Domino's. I mean, they've
that
lost
was a
in court
joke.
and they're still fighting.
Yeah, that's a joke.
but the
Last
problem
night-
is that people need money to file these lawsuits, and unfortunately, it's just one of these things that unless you can get someone to back you, or you've got Maybe it takes a little bit of innovation. Maybe a couple of us need to go and get a FundMe page and say, right, we're going to sue, I don't know, whatever. We'll pick 4 different organisations for their inaccessibility. Well, let's do a FundMe page and let's make it happen. Find a lawyer that's willing to back us a little. I don't know, but it needs something to get moving, and it needs it to get moving in a quick way, because we're just going backwards with this. It's not a good thing.
All right, guys. Well, Samsung is adding new features to its original Galaxy Watch. The Swatch was released something like 2-3 years ago now.
Yeah.
And so they've added some new features to that to help it get updated with the Galaxy Watch 3. And those are features for voice guidance.
Yeah, this is where the voice guidance for workouts now. I will be demonstrating a fit thing later on, but I'm particularly interested, and that's why I added this in. And you can also use it with Bluetooth. And funnily enough, to me, that's actually quite important, because there's nothing worse than using corded headphones when you're working out. So.
Yes.
Well, you can't really connect corded headphones to a watch, so you'd have to do it through
Bluetooth.
to
a phone. Sorry, I'm thinking of the phone at the moment, but yeah.
Get a little dongle
I
going on.
used corded headphones up to a couple of years ago, and then I switched to Bluetooth.
Oh no, it's too hard. I've tried with corded headphones as well, and it's annoying.
They short out.
Yeah,
You
they do.
put it in your pocket. And,
Yeah.
So this is interesting. They're adding these features. I think that's really good for owners of that watch. But I think Samsung in general is doing better with updates. They've recently said they're improving their updates to 4 years for security updates on Samsung devices all the way back to 2019.
Yeah.
So I think getting 4 years is still very low for a $1,000 device, but it's better than what it was.
I think
it's a hell of a better than what it was a year ago.
I think, in my opinion, Google, Samsung, they need to follow the iOS model and do 5 years.
No, I think
There's
they
no
should do
reason
10.
for
I
what
think they
you-
shouldn't stop,
Well,
particularly
that's
for
true,
security
too.
patches.
Oh, security patches are pretty easy to implement.
Yeah.
You know, it's
But
a
I mean, as
security
far
patch.
as actual system updates, do 5 years, because that's,
Sure.
if you're blind and you're on a fixed income, what are you going to pay? Are you going to pay $1,000 for a Samsung and get 3 years or 4 years of system updates? Or are you going to pay $1,000 and get that extra year or two? Or in the case of Google, where they're only doing 3 years, are you going to pay $1,000 for 3 years, or $1,000 or $800?
I can't see
fine.
Google charging $1,000 for any kind of a phone, though. But yeah, I
Well,
get
not
your
at
point.
the moment. Not at the moment.
They actually
but,
were charging
They were
$1,000 for their
before.
Pixel 4 XL, the 128 gig. That was $1,000.
Their flagship phones are always going to be $8, $9,
Yeah.
$1,000.
And again, it's one thing to pay $800, $900, $600, $700, $800, $900, $1,000. If you can get 5 years of updates, you can justify it. Okay, it's $200 a year. I get 5 years of updates. It's $200 a year.
Yeah,
You
but on
can justify
Samsung's,
that.
you're only getting 3 years of software updates.
Yeah.
4
Yeah,
years
the
of
fourth year of
security
security.
patches. Yep.
That's ridiculous.
And Google's
actually
not even giving you
personally-
that 4th year. They're giving you 3 and
They're giving you
Full
3 and
stop.
3, aren't they? Yeah.
Yep.
I actually personally think that I don't have it necessarily as big an issue in terms of the actual system updates being for 3 or 4 years, but I
Yeah.
completely concur that if it's just a patch and it's a security update, that thing should just continue to update.
Yeah.
Unless there's a reason
Indefinitely,
why
really.
it can't, if it's a hardware limitation, it's got to be a pretty decent reason for it not to have a security update. I mean, it's a minor update,
Yeah.
you know. I
So
don't see
anyway,
why that
if
doesn't happen.
you've got a Galaxy Watch or are considering saving a bunch of money by getting the cheap, 3-year-old one, then this might be a way to go.
Yeah, and you
The
can
one
pick
thing
up
I
a
don't
watch for
know is
$100.
if this original Galaxy Watch actually has a speaker, because some watches don't have speakers.
I think
one
the
thing to
original
know.
one didn't. I think.
Yeah, I don't know. So it might be
think it
something to look
didn't,
into. It's
yeah.
not something that I know, but if, let us know if you do know, or look into it for us and let us know. But there we go.
No, I had to add this next one in because I'm a baseball fan, and it's about time
Yeah.
that this happened. YouTube adding MLB at bat, which is fantastic. Bring it in, YouTube. Thank you very much.
Yep. Do we know how much they're charging for this add-on?
I'm having a look. Let's see.
I believe it was $129.
Okay, it's $29.99 per month, whether you subscribe through AtBat itself or whether you subscribe through YouTube. So it's the same cost.
Oh.
Okay.
So you still have to pay.
$29.99 a month. Yeah.
So YouTube, you could have been a little bit nicer, a bit more happy, and maybe you've made it 19. You know, you would have probably had a few more
eat
people
some of the
subscribe.
cost. Because right now there's no difference
No.
in that versus buying it from MLB.
Yeah.
I think
know
YouTube
it's-
Music is a joke. I wouldn't pay for YouTube TV at
I
this
wouldn't pay
point.
for
No,
YouTube.
no,
It
me
started
neither.
out as being $40.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah, now
actually,
it's like
it was
80.
actually less than that. It was, I think,
No, beginning was like $30 or something.
yeah, it was like
Pretty
20
cheap.
or 30. It started out really cheap,
Yeah.
and
Yeah, now it's
and then it
ridiculous.
kept creeping up, and now it's 65. But that's without all the add-ons. So by the
yeah.
time you pay for other add-ons, you're getting 80, 90 bucks. You might as well pay for
Dang.
cable.
Yeah.
So if I've got the YouTube where I've got that family deal, you know, where you don't get any ads, I assume I still have to pay the $29.99 on top of it to get MLB. I'm guessing that's...
That's what it
No,
is.
no, no, no.
Like,
So
yeah.
if you have the YouTube where you don't get ads, that's a very different thing from YouTube TV. The
Oh, no,
YouTube
no, I
TV
understand
is
that. Yeah, I appreciate
$65
that.
Whatever it is.
But whether you've got the YouTube TV thing or whether you've got the YouTube no ad, whatever they call it, you still have to pay the $29 on top, I'm guessing.
Oh yeah,
That cost is still going to be the same.
Yeah.
And just keep in mind, listeners, this is for the TV
In fact, I don't
portion,
think you
so
can
if
get
you
it
like the
unless
audio...
you have the YouTube TV.
Yeah, this
Well, you
doesn't
can use-
include the audio at bat. It's very clear about it. This is just the TV portion. So I don't think they're offering the audio, which is what I'm more interested in. I'm not really
Yeah.
interested in the TV.
Yeah.
I'd rather have the audio.
I do mine through TuneIn Premium. Just pay what, like $90 a year? Or
Yeah,
something
I've
like
done that before, but the audio, over here in this country, the audio portion only costs $3.50 a month, which is dirt cheap.
Oh, yeah.
It's way cheaper than TuneIn. TuneIn, you're paying, I think it's $14 Australian a month.
Now, the TuneIn Premium, as of last year, did away with a lot of their sports content.
Yeah, a lot of
Yeah,
their sports
a
content's
lot of it.
gone. Yeah, which is a real shame.
It's
And
a
I-
shame because I loved it. I had it
Yeah.
2 years ago, and it was
I used to have
it was
TuneIn
the
on my
best
phone. It was one of the
$100
most
I spent.
used. It was one of the most used apps on my phone up until about May of last year, and now I've deleted it because
They used to have
basically killed it.
audiobooks on there.
yeah.
You could
they
read
yanked
audiobooks
that,
on
they
there.
yanked
And then
the NFL, MLB. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm almost positive they yanked them. Yeah, they
NHL.
did.
I used to listen
Yeah,
to the
they did.
NHL, all sorts of stuff they used to have on there, but they don't have it anymore. So.
Well, Clubhouse is not on Android, but they are hopefully going to be getting on Android. There's some article about their CEO
I'm waiting for
was
that.
Yeah,
giving
so
a
am I.
chat, and we're talking about, the CEO of Microsoft was giving a chat, and on an iPhone because they were
Yeah.
on Clubhouse or something, and the
Apparently he
founder
had really bad
co-founder
audio.
of Clubhouse said that no, they were actually going to bring it to Android since Bill Gates
Well,
prefers
it's supposed
Android.
to be coming out in March. So, hello, it's March 1st here. It's autumn here. So,
Yeah,
bring
come
it
on.
out today. Come on, get on with it.
The idea
I
how
don't
we
know.
subscribe to
Has
it.
anyone used this
Okay.
app, Clubhouse? Is this
I
something
have
you
used
guys
it
could
on
actually
yes.
get?
Yeah, I
I've
have
heard
used
it's
it.
really interesting.
It is actually, and
it
I
is
am
very
actually astounded with this because I was amazed. I thought this was going to be a complete and utter waste of time, and I found, and you guys would be surprised how many people on there that are blind and visually impaired that actually listen to blind tech guys that actually use Clubhouse. So I definitely think it's something we need to look into. It's actually
to
not a
get it
bad
right.
app. Yeah, it's pretty good, pretty interesting.
All right. Well, I don't
And
know
I was
anything
actually
about it. It's
pleasantly
kind of like
surprised.
Snack Chap, I don't really.
Oh,
know
I can
anything
tell you
about
now.
it, so-
This is like the audio version of Twitter. I equate it to. It's like the audio version of Twitter.
Oh, very good.
That's
Very
the way I
nice,
look at
yeah.
it. And I actually think it's pretty damn at the moment. And I actually hope, and I don't know what you guys think, but I hope it stays invite only because it keeps a lot of the
Yes.
nutters away. But at
For
the
a
moment,
while
it's
anyway.
pretty good.
I think it's eventually going to go to where anybody can get it. That's why
Yeah.
Oh, I'm
Well,
sure.
it's
Red.
the same.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
I
at the
kind of
moment,
like
it's actually pretty cool.
only because you only get 2 invites right now, and
Yeah.
even if they increase that, say to 5 or 10, you're going to pick 5 or 10 people that are going to be useful, and not you're not going to send it to the idiots.
Yeah.
And the thing that's important about the app, from what my limited usage on a 12 Pro Max, is that you really have to pick the right sort of people to follow. If you pick the right sort of people, let's say I'm interested in, I don't know, audio engineering and stuff. If I pick the right sort of people, you get exposure, they get exposure. It seems to work pretty well, that you find the sort of content you want.
Yeah.
I have a feeling that it's probably not going to stay that way once it goes out to the main populace, but at the moment the content's pretty interesting. So
There are way too
We'll
many
see.
of these apps. I have no idea. You guys use it and let me know. I don't know.
Sure.
whoa, man, you're cutting out like really badly. I don't know what's going on with your internet there, but you've
Am I cutting out?
Austin, stop breaking our internet.
No, you're
Wow.
fine now.
oh, now you're
Oh.
good.
All right. I have no idea. All right. Well, Telegram brings auto delete to chats.
Is it just me, or is everyone sounding really bad at the moment?
I think everyone's sounding really bad at the moment. People cutting out.
Oh, there we
Hello?
go. Now it's come good. Oh, there we go. That was
You
just
sound
really
fine, Kurt.
strange.
You sound fine. Everybody sounds fine on my end. So
Okay,
Yeah,
I
you
think
guys were fine
something
on
just
my end.
happened
I
on
have no
our
idea.
ends. Yeah, I think
no,
maybe it was me and you. Maybe it was us two, because you guys sounded really.
I heard you guys all get
freaking-
quiet for a couple
Yeah.
seconds there.
I don't know. You guys were
That was
fine
weird.
on my end.
Okay.
So
Anyway.
Telegram brings auto delete to all chats, home screen
Yeah, they
widgets,
seem to keep
invite
bringing
links.
all these little things slowly. It's like the trickle effect. I don't know what's going on here with Telegram. So basically, messages, you can delete them within a certain specific time. I think they're basically Telegram and WhatsApp seem to be copying each other. It's a bit like Android and the iPhone at the moment.
Yeah.
It's a bit of a copycat scenario going on here, but yeah.
So if you can convert your group into a group with just broadcast if you're reaching the limit. I'm not sure what the limit of groups is. Kind of interesting. We're not reaching that
100,000, I
limit.
believe it is.
Yeah. More flexible invite links. The one that's interesting to me is the auto delete of chats, but this feature doesn't seem to be very, how you say, accessible. At least on the Android side, it's certainly not. Are you guys there? Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. All
Unfortunately, I
right.
don't think they test for accessibility, and they're not the
No,
only.
it seems to me like a slider. So at this point, if I'm understanding the feature correctly, what you have to do is you have to go into more options, and then you have to go to an area called Clear Chat. Why would you go to Clear Chat? I have no idea, but you have to go to Clear Chat, and then in there's a slider type thing or whatever that you can choose to select to have your chats cleared after a certain period of time, but that particular part of it doesn't seem to be accessible.
Why wouldn't you just have checkboxes or something
Yeah,
like
that
that?
would be nice. See what
Yeah.
Clear chat after. Or better yet, okay, fine. You don't want to go through the trouble of that. That's too much trouble to develop. Clear chat after. Edit box. Type a value from 1 to 14 or 1 to 7. You punch it in. Save button. It's done. It's not rocket science, people. Come on.
Yeah, but apparently you can select between 24 hours and 7 days, and messages will stay in there for that period of time. And I would love to set this, but yeah, I don't think it's accessible. At least not when I tried it. Owners and admins can also create invite links with limited duration and or number of uses, which is good. So if I put up a link and I want a certain number of people or a certain period of time, it expires. It's a lot easier to do that than to put a link up and then have to change it. So I think that's very good.
Yeah.
You can convert invite links to scannable QR codes, which is really good. And you can see analytics of these links, for example, where new members came from. So that's really good. And you can use home screen widgets for easier access to your chats. So definitely some new features for Telegram. So check out those features. Let's see. Where's Marco? I think Marco's internet was dying. That was what was going on.
Marco.
I suspect his internet died, and that's what was the issue. He was talking about how things were sounding bad.
I mean, I definitely heard things sounding bad and people fading in and out for a minute, but then mine died earlier
Interesting.
too, so
Yeah. No, mine's fine.
StreamYard could be just attacking us.
All right. So Twitter, as Marco likes to say, has a few new features. They're doing safety mode. Is on the way, which is supposed to block abusive accounts. So users can protect themselves from toxic tweets. Users can protect themselves from accounts that use insults, name calling, strong language, or hateful remarks.
Oh.
Excuse me. The feature will prevent blocked accounts from tweeting at you for 7 days. In addition, these accounts' tweets will not be seen by as many people thanks to safety mode. As a result, the toxic accounts' tweets will have a smaller footprint. All right. There we go.
So they're just kind of following Facebook, it seems.
Yeah, it's like, giving users more filters apparently so that you can choose if you want accounts that have toxic content to be following you or not. Or rather, if you'd like to see their tweets or not.
Yeah.
And I think it's important to leave it up to the user.
Yes. Yeah, I agree.
Because you don't want to get
Yeah.
into the habit where big tech is censoring speech.
Yep.
That's going
And
down
on
the
this-
slippery slope.
Yep. And on the same note as that, Twitter is bringing super follows for paid subscribers. So if you're a paid subscriber, you can get people to subscribe and pay for additional content. So, for example, if a user wants to, they can follow you, and then they'll pay you so that you put up more content, special content, and things like that.
We should try that.
And also the ability to create and join groups in order to build communities around specific interests.
Gee, they're getting that from
So-
Facebook.
And sorry, guys, I
Yes.
just lost internet connectivity for a bit.
Also, it was your internet. You can't blame my
yeah.
internet this time.
No, it wasn't yours. I think what Twitter's trying to do here is they're trying to do a similar system to Clubhouse, from the sounds of it. I think they're just trying
It seemed like Facebook to me, but maybe this
to...
Clubhouse
Facebook,
too. I
sorry,
don't know.
Facebook. Yeah.
Right?
But apparently you've got it's a paid, isn't it, this one?
Yes, that's right.
Yeah. Interesting. Yeah. I'm sure
They're
about
just
that,
trying to
but anyway.
monetize their platform, is what it
Yeah.
seems like. So, they have to find a way to make money. I mean, that's fair enough.
Yeah.
Google Maps adding more features from Waze. Very good.
Yeah,
as
so
you
apparently
guys
now
know,
it's going to
Google
stop us
owns
from
Waze.
hitting trains, which is cool.
Oh. Well, I
Yeah.
hope I hope we can do that without maps, but that's
Yeah.
still good.
It's going to put railway crossings in. Amazing. Very good.
Yep, so that you'll get a notification warning that you're approaching a railroad crossing.
I usually thought a train would
And
give you
it'll say
fairly
something
good
like,
warning.
expect delays because you're approaching the crossing.
What do you do if your internet drops out? Do you still get the notification?
Yeah, well, I guess you'll know if you're not on this earth anymore.
Right? You might not get the notification in time to do much about it, but well, you should, I guess. Those trains are pretty loud.
Now the only
last
thing that
three
Google really
articles
needs
that-
to do is add bus stops. That'd be kind of cool, actually.
Yeah.
If they could do that, that'd be kind of good. But we'll see.
The last three articles that we have are, we're not going to really go through them very much, but they are rumor articles. There's one of them is about OnePlus 9 Trio and the company's smartwatch, hopefully unveiled around mid-March. So the link has some interesting rumors on that particular line of products from OnePlus.
And if that does actually happen, then we might do a midweek podcast on that one. But
Yeah,
we'll
that
see.
would be
Sure.
that'd be
Yeah.
good to see.
I think that'd be interesting to. A lot of listeners like the OnePluses, so
Google Pixel 6, we have some rumors on that, even though we just got Google Pixel 5. But we've
Oh, wow.
got Google Pixel 6 rumors. And so probably be out later this year. Hopefully we'll have more flagship specs and the Pixel 6 XL maybe making a rebirth.
Is that like the iPhone 13 rumors that we heard from December onwards?
Hey, look, we also
It's
have
gonna
another
fold.
link for
It's
more
gonna fold.
iOS or iPhone 13 rumors. So we
Yeah.
have another link right below that. So if you want to know rumors about the iPhone 13,
They're
you
going to
can
invent a
certainly-
foldable phone? What? They hold on a second. I seem to remember about this time last year that they were absolutely cursing Samsung for foldable phones. There was curse words and cuss words coming.
Come on,
And-
we all know they
wow.
all follow each other.
It's just
do.
amazing.
No
Soon
charger
they'll-
in the box. Samsung
Yeah.
made fun of Apple for that.
You know
Oh,
what's
no,
going to
no,
happen
we-
one
we're not
day, and it
gonna
wouldn't
do this. This
surprise
is
me
brave.
if you get the phone without the box. Now that's environmentally saving.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
We'll just put it in the mailbox with a little
We'll put it in the
label on
mailbox. And if you live in certain parts of the world, you don't have mailboxes, so good luck.
Right?
So, yes. Anyway, that's the way it is. Very good.
All right, guys, so I'm going to spend 5 minutes ranting about Dolphin.
Well, I'm going to turn my mic down and listen to you rant
me as well.
because this will be
This will be
interesting.
entertaining.
So this is my rant about Dolphin Screen Reader. I'm going to mute everybody because I'll actually demo exactly what my experience has been. Mute, and he's muted. All right, good. Here's the thing. I went and downloaded Dolphin. I said, well, okay, somebody wanted a demo of Dolphin, so I'll download it, installed it, blah, 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 run through the installer. But halfway through the installer, my computer very randomly rebooted. I got no warning that my computer was going to reboot. It just rebooted. It actually couldn't reboot since I had a document up and it wanted to know if I wanted to save it. Fine, I allowed it to reboot. When it came back up, nothing happened. So I had to go back in there and restart the installer. About halfway through, guess what happened? I was logged out. So I logged back in. And I restarted the installer again. Finally, I got through the installer. And when I turned on Dolphin, started navigating around. By the way, I'm going to actually turn it on so you can hear what it sounds like because it's quite annoying. But when I turned it on, I started getting freezing and I was trying to navigate around. I was trying to navigate on the web and I opened up docs.google.com and it does have a forms mode, but it didn't automatically go into forms mode as do JAWS and NVDA has focus mode. It didn't automatically do that. In fact, focus was placed at the very top of the web page for some reason. So it's as if it doesn't really know how to interact with web apps, which is kind of crazy to me. It doesn't really know how to do that. They have a version of a Dolphin cursor that is supposed to be similar to the narrator scan mode, and it's supposed to be kind of an automatic thing. It turns on when you think you need it, when it thinks you need it, and it turns off when it doesn't. I had instances where it would turn on and instances where it turned off, and it all seemed rather random, so I had to actually physically invoke it sometimes. On the web, for example, on a site like StreamYard, when I tab around, it doesn't read the buttons at all. It just reads graphic button, graphic button, graphic button, graphic, graphic, graphic. Again, I'm going to turn it on here in a second so you can hear what it sounds like. I think that's a big problem if your screen reader, while you're doing something simple like tabbing, doesn't actually read the controls properly on a web page. That's a problem. And it got to a point where it just hung, and I couldn't really do anything with it. I was trying to access the task manager to kill it, couldn't do anything with it. So the best thing I could do is just log out, just close out, log back in. So if someone asks me, what do I think of Dolphin, which people did ask, can you do a demo of Dolphin? Can you demo, tell us what it's like to use, and how does it work with web apps and that kind of thing? The best thing, and I'm very sorry to say this, and if you if you work at Dolphin or whatever their company's called, and you would like to correct any of the information that I'm saying here, or if you'd like to come on the podcast, you're more than welcome to do that. but I report things as I see them. And, I try to be honest with you guys about my views. And my views are you need to take this product and send it right back home to mama. And even beyond mama, if there's such a thing that exists, because this product doesn't work as it's intended. Now, it does have a lot of features. It has a manual that is something like 200 pages long. It's got the ability to auto-label graphics, which I didn't use because I don't think you need to have something that auto-labels things to be able to read basic web page tools. It has the ability to use different set files and create different set files, which are similar to what Window Eyes had, and I think are similar to like scripts, something like that. Anyway, this thing has a lot of flexibility. You can change the keyboard layout. It has a lot of flexibility, but a lot of the keyboard shortcuts are just very esoteric and strange. What do I mean by strange? Well, the command to turn on the screen reader is left control, left shift, and the S key. And it gets worse from there. I think just by the fact that you have one key on one side that can do something is just silly to me. I guess it doubles on the amount of keystrokes that you can use, but I think a lot of users will probably be confused by this. But it gets a lot worse from there, and some of their laptop keystrokes and their desktop keystrokes are very different from each other. So if you're trying to learn the laptop layout and you already know the desktop layout, it's not very good. So I'm going to turn it on, and I'll just navigate around, and you can hear what it sounds like. I haven't changed any setting, and you can hear exactly how verbose it is. A lot of these settings now that you hear when it says things, you can certainly turn them off. You can change things, but I haven't done it just because I want you to get an idea of what this screen reader is. And just the same as I did with narrator, I had narrator set its default, and I did the same with, I'll do the same with Dolphin. So let's share my screen. And then I will share audio. Share. Okay. So I should be getting audio now, and I'm going to turn NVDA off. There we go. And let's turn on the screen reader. And let's see what happens. For some reason, it has not turned on.
Screen reader loaded.
Okay, it just took it a long time.
Enter.
See, I have a very
Control.
powerful machine, and it took it that long to turn on.
Shift tab. Tab. Alt tab. Tab. Down arrow. Right arrow. Alt tab.
So it doesn't seem to be reading much of
Tab.
anything
Escape. M.
at the moment. Let's turn on narrator.
Control
See what's
enter.
going on here.
Narrator head. Narrate
Enter.
heading level.
Screen reader control panel. One new
Screen reader
notification.
control
Balloon
panel.
Google
One
Chrome
new
Canary
notification
BTG
dialog.
hash
One of
tab.
one. Selected. One of
Tab.
one. Selected. Narrator.
Tasks.
Two.
StreamYard. New tab. Google. Screen reader control panel. One new
Screen
notification.
reader.
Balloon.
Exiting
Control
narrator.
Left Windows key.
All right.
M. Down arrow.
So as soon as I turn off
Alt
narrator,
tab.
it seems to stop actually speaking. So
Control enter.
Narrator
this
heading
is
level.
this is going
StreamYard.
well. I did get
Screen
it
reader
speaking a
control
little bit more
panel.
before.
One new
Let's see if I
balloon
can
Google
actually
One
get
of
it
Chrome
one.
to work.
Canary.
One
File
of
menu.
quit
Quit
screen
screen
reader.
reader
Quit
shortcut.
screen reader.
Balloon
No.
Google Chrome
Yes.
Canary.
Screen reader control panel.
Okay, I'm
One
going to
new
close it out,
notification.
and then I will pop it open.
StreamYard.com
it
is
on again.
desktop list. Screen reader 20.01. Exiting
And
narrator.
this is where having narrator is very helpful. So I just turn it on again. Let's wait about 5 minutes for it to turn back on. So that's kind of a problem too. When you have a screen reader that takes that long to load on a machine with 16 gigs of RAM.
Hello?
Hello?
Why it takes so long?
I don't know. It take too long.
Pretty sure my braille note touches faster than that.
Yeah, it definitely takes a long time. I'm not sure why it takes so long. Well, I might have to turn on narrator again to force it to come on. Oh, I heard a
Screen reader loaded.
Oh, there it
Balloon.
goes. Wow. All right.
Tab. Down arrow.
So there's a little window that pops up that asks me to register it or not, but that doesn't seem to be
Task
reading.
switching. Task switch. Balloon Google Chrome Canary BTG #75. Control.
Okay.
Task switching. Running applications. StreamYard Google Chrome. New tab Google Chrome. StreamYard.com is screen reader control panel 1 new StreamYard Google Chrome. Screen reader control. Balloon Google Chrome Canary BTG #75. Control tab.
All right. So this is very laggy.
Alt Y.
Oh.
Tasks. Balloon Google Chrome Canary BTG #75. Alt
Okay,
tab.
that's the other thing. So if you're
Control.
using Dvorak, it doesn't
Control.
recognize that you're using
Tab.
Dvorak, which is very strange.
Alt F.
So you actually have to use the keyboard keys on the keyboard
Alt.
as they are.
Task switching. StreamYard
So
Google
let's go
Chrome.
to
Task switching.
StreamYard.
Balloon Google Chrome Canary BTG #control.
So as you guys hear, it's like reading out all the different controls, tab, control, everything it reads out.
Task switching. Alt tab. Tab.
And it doesn't seem to be reading very
Task
much. Like,
switching.
and even
Running
when it does
applications.
read, it's very laggy.
StreamYard.com is sharing. Balloon Google Chrome Canary BT tab. Tab.
And I'm not sure if it's because of that window that comes up and asks you if you want to register it or not, but it doesn't automatically give that window focus.
Control enter.
StreamYard
So let's see
narrator
if I can
narrator
actually
heading
get to
level.
that window.
StreamYard
StreamYard
Google new tab narrate StreamYard screen
welcome
reader
dialog.
Balloon Google
Unlock
Chrome
now,
Canary
but
BTG
unlock later.
#75
Button. Error
Dolphins-R-Us
dialog.
Blind
Okay.
Tech Guys
Button.
podcast is
Magnification. No previous item.
www.youtube.com.
Cancel. Okay. Button. Screen reader
Okay.
control panel.
We got an
One
error
new
about
notification
magnification,
dialog.
so that's
Voice
fine.
languages. Button. 1 of
Tab.
1. Selected. 1 of 1.
Tab.
Selected. 1 of
Right arrow.
1 of
Right
1.
arrow.
1
Caps
of 1.
on.
Selected. Exiting
Control.
narrator.
Down arrow. Tab.
All right, so I got rid of that dialogue, but
Alt tab.
now it's back to not reading anything again. So, yeah, this is my experience with the HAL, with the Dolphin screen reader. This
Left
is the
Windows.
latest version of...
Control.
Hush. This is the latest
Alt
version
tab.
of Dolphin. This is 20.1. This is on Windows 10. If you have a
Control
version of
enter.
Dolphin
Narrator,
that actually
narrator.
is working, we would love it if you can demo
Control.
it for us, because I have been able to get it, as I said, to read the web, but that was the first time I tried it. But even then, it was doing very weird things. And like I said, the buttons on StreamYard were unlabeled and that kind of thing. So if you have a version of Dolphin that is actually working,
Screen reader
switch
control
tab.
panel.
The
One
way
new
that it's supposed
notification.
to be.
New
File
menu
menu.
item.
New
Collapsed.
has submenu shortcut.
okay, so I was able
control.
to open up the window here with narrator. So let's maybe go through the file menu real quick. And you might have two screen readers because I have narrator running.
Exiting.
Left
There, I just turned it off.
control. Shortcut profile shortcut restore defaults has save settings shortcut a quit screen reader new has submenu shortcut and new menu situation settings short application settings map script situation settings shortcut visual menu highlighting unchecked shortcut H1 of 4.
So let's go in here. Let's go
Speech
to
menu.
the speech
Voice
menu.
unchecked shortcut 01. Voice
Voice.
preferences shortcut P2 of 9. Character echo shortcut C3 of 9. Keyboard announcements general announcements verbosity level head monitor markers unchecked advanced options voice unchecked short braille menu. Braille output unchecked. Shortcut B1 of
Braille.
12. Media menu.
There's a
Scan and
media
read has
menu.
submenu. Shortcut S1 of 5.
Has features for you can scan things, I
Books
guess.
has submenu. News shortcut N3
Read
of 5.
books,
Radio
news,
stations.
radio,
Podcast shortcut P5 of. Scan and read has submenu. Scan and read general menu. Startup preferences shortcut
startup
S1
menu.
update settings control panel keyboard and hotkeys has submenu. Shortcut K4 of it. Keyboard and hotkeys menu. Keyboard shortcut K1 of 2. Hotkeys shortcut 8. Help menu. Ask a question my notifications screen reader manual shortcut M3 of 8. Visit Dolphin Help and Support web screen reader manual
All right, let's
shortcut
open up the
M3 of
manual.
8.
Let's see at least if it'll
Balloon
read
Google
that.
Chrome Canary BTG #75. Dolphins-R-Us Blind Tech Guys podcast is live www.youtube.com. Down arrow.
Okay, now it's back to not reading. So now I'll probably have to turn on narrator
Alt
again.
tab. Control
Screen
enter.
reader, narrator, screen reader, screen read, cap, new, quit screen
Quit
reader.
screen reader shortcut
Quit screen
Q8.
reader
Balloon
dialog.
Google Chrome
Yes.
Canary.
Voice languages,
Okay,
button.
guys, the best thing that you can do with the screen reader, here, let me show you.
Run dialog.
Go to run, Windows R, very good.
Cap, O. Cap, enter, run dial, no next radio button. Selection deleted. Tech.
Go to run,
Control
go to control
panel,
panel, CONTROL, programs
Cap O.
and features.
Quenting scan, PUT. Narrator, stream, new tab,
where's my
control panel
control panel?
backslash, control,
go.
administrative tools, programs and
Let's go to programs and features.
shell folder view, cap, sure plus, cap, smart byte, sure plus,
Let's find
ASIO,
screen reader.
7,
Let's see,
Dell
where is it?
digital deliver, Dell,
Dolphin?
Dell,
What is it? What do they call it here?
Dolphin Easy Reader, Dolphin
All right.
Orpheus, Dolphin Remotes, Dolphin Screen Reader, context,
Hit the context menu key.
uninstall
Very
slash,
good.
User
Uninstall.
account.
This is the best thing that you can possibly do with the screen reader. So anyway, I hope that you guys enjoyed this demo of Dolphin Screen Reader.
narrator,
if-
control panel,
if you did not,
uninstall, new tab, Google,
I'm very
StreamYard,
sorry.
Google Chrome, Stream,
There's not much else I can do to help you. But again, if you can get this thing working better than I can, then please let me know. Thank you, guys.
Wow.
Let's unmute. There we go.
Terrible.
Yeah. That is just unbelievably bad. I don't think I've seen anything that bad ever.
I'm glad you had me muted because I was kind of laughing my head off.
Oh, so was I. I was
I'm
having
like,
the cackle
I mean,
effect.
The amount of time
Yeah,
it took,
yeah,
I'm thinking, damn, that's ridiculous.
I didn't know you were on Quentin C though, Nimmer. That's kind of cool. I like Quentin C Playroom.
I have it installed. I rarely use it, but
Now, somebody's probably going to come back and say, look, you've got to do something to make it do this or that. But if you've got a screen reader and you're a blind person or visually impaired person and you install that thing, it should just at least be able to do up, down, arrow, tab
You're right.
without you having to do anything.
And it should load in less than a minute,
Wow.
you know? Like,
That's terrible. It's just...
I'm
So
not
I
kidding. My
actually-
Braille Note
I
Touch
wanted
is
to-
faster.
I wanted to avoid someone saying that you could, do this with the manual or whatever. I mean, you could do this feature or that feature. So I actually went through the manual. By the way, if anyone who knows me will know anything about me, and that is I hate manuals. I never go through manuals.
Really?
And I learned most of everything I know just by pushing buttons. Absolutely hate manuals. So if you know me, you'll know that I hate manuals, but I went through the manual anyway just for you guys. And there's
Did
no
you learn
there's
anything
nothing,
from the manual?
Not really.
No.
I was able to get a list of their hotkeys, which is, I guess, semi-helpful. But no, I didn't learn anything. And I certainly didn't learn anything as to why sometimes it reads stuff, sometimes it doesn't read stuff. And when you're on the web and it does actually read stuff, it reads stuff that is not labeled properly. No, I didn't run into anything like that. I read that you can auto-label graphics and things, but I shouldn't have
useful.
to auto-label
You
things
shouldn't
when
have to do
NVDA
that.
and JAWS and everything else automatically labels things.
Now,
Well,
I
no,
invite anybody from Dolphin to come on and just explain to us why I should download this screen reader. I'd actually be quite interested because from my experience of listening to that last 15 minutes, that is not a good advertisement for a screen reader. I'm sorry.
No, it's quite terrible. And JAWS and NVDA read StreamYard just fine. So it's
And I
That
will
makes
ask
me-
Marco to leave the silence in there, at least for that bit of it, because I do
Oh, no,
want you to
I
get
will.
a sense
Oh,
of how
yeah.
long it takes
Yeah, I
to
will.
start the screen reader.
Yeah,
I
don't
think the
touch
funniest,
that.
I think the funniest part though is that anyone that knocks talkback from now in, you just don't knock talkback anymore, okay? Because there is definitely a bottom of the pile here. Wow.
I think another thing that I will say to the Dolphin people is that if you have a screen reader and it's that verbose, it makes it very difficult to actually achieve anything. So there's one thing, there's something to be said about having a verbose screen reader that helps people.
Right.
But if you are trying to use a screen reader and your screen reader continually says up arrow, down arrow, control, every time you push a key, it is very, very hard to actually do anything.
yeah.
So I recommend that some of those verbosity options be turned off by default. I know you can turn them off. I don't want to hear someone say, yes, you can turn them off. I'm aware that you can turn them off.
You should
But for the
have to
average user, I don't
control.
think the average user needs to know or hear control, tab, shift. Hell, even narrator turned that feature off by default. And narrator used to do this.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, if you're pushing the up and down arrow or the tab or the whatever, you know what you put. Well, I would hope you know what you're pushing.
Well, it's
You
not
know.
just if you don't know what you're pushing, that's
Stupid.
okay. But that means you're probably working with a trainer. You're probably working with
Yeah.
typing
Yeah,
software or someone
exactly.
that's able to help you learn how to type. But you're not actually trying to use a screen reader. Seriously, use a screen reader. I would hope not. I mean, if you don't know how to type and you're trying to use a screen
I
reader,
don't even
you
know
might
how you can be
struggling.
productive with this thing. You can't. I mean,
Yeah.
if this thing can't even read anything, how can you be productive?
Yeah,
sorry, but
it's not
just-
good.
Wow. And they're charging people for this thing?
Yeah, I think it's $895 somewhere around there.
Wow.
Why?
If anyone's considering spending $895 on this product, I would actually suggest that you go, and I'll do this right now. So if you go to Run, then you go to www.blindtechguys.com, and you go down to the bottom here, there's a donate link. Just donate $895 to Blind Tech Guys, because you will get far more out of doing that than buying this screen reader. That's just a thought that I've got. So I'll just add that to the equation.
I would unfortunately concur. I mean, to charge $1 for it,
Yeah.
it is. That's a hell of
Yeah,
a waste of $895.
I've
I'm
never
sorry.
seen anything worse, and I've used some screen
I
readers
haven't
in my
either.
time.
Yeah,
like back
yeah.
in the 90s especially, there were some pretty bad ones, but they never rivaled that. That was very bad.
Now,
that
it may
was
work
kind of
better on an
amusing.
Intel machine. I wouldn't know. This is an AMD machine. It shouldn't
Well,
make
maybe
a
it'll
difference.
start
If
Shouldn't
that's
matter,
the
though.
case,
5
then
seconds.
it shouldn't matter. Yeah. But, you know, if this product isn't meant to run on AMD machines, then they need to have something on their website that very specifically says only run on whatever.
Oh, lol. That was just bad. Wow.
I mean, the other thing, and maybe they haven't optimized it for Windows 10. I don't really
Maybe
know.
they haven't optimized it for a 486.
Right.
I don't really know.
They haven't optimized it for Windows 10. Shit, how long has Windows 10 been out? I mean, come on.
Yeah.
One cool feature that I like is if you can get it working, there's a ability to create an emergency flash drive or use it in
cool.
emergency mode, which means that you can actually access features of a computer without needing admin privileges
Oh.
by running it on a flash drive, which I think is excellent. Now,
Could you get into like the BIOS and stuff that way?
no, because
No.
there's
No,
no
this is
drivers
just
running
for
at
the-
that point. But
Yeah, but the only problem is that when you use your command keys, they won't read anything. So it's good that you can
well,
create it.
I would hope that it would
You
work
know.
better, but you never know. Yeah. And you can do this with
Excellent.
NVDA, by the way. We might do this as a Did You Know section at one point.
Yeah, that
but
might be
anyway, you
worthwhile.
can do this as well with NVDA. So
Well, maybe we'll do it as a Did You Know section one day, using that screen reader to see if it works well.
we're not going to do it. That screen reader has gone home.
Yeah.
I'm not reinstalling unless
Yeah,
someone
let's
tells
not
me.
touch that again.
Yeah, someone has to tell me why it was doing that before I'll be willing to give that thing another go. So
No, that thing's never coming home to Papa, I can assure you. That's definitely staying well off my machine.
If you send like a $20 minimum donation, I might consider doing a demo of this. But
Well, I'll do it again. Run www. I'll do that just to get it on your machine. Actually, that'd be worthwhile.
By the way, the other thing that I would like to say, the last thing I'd like to say to the Dolphin people is if the screen reader is going to restart my computer, I would love a warning.
Yeah.
I would not want it just to restart my computer.
Absolutely.
So please give me a warning before you just restart my machine.
And the other thing I noticed as well is when you clicked on the node that you didn't want to upgrade, was that an error that popped up? And what was that error?
That did sound like an error tone, yes, but it didn't read what it was.
Yeah, I had to use a narrator to read it, which is funny. The error has to do with magnification. It asks me if I want magnification or some kind of error with magnification. So maybe their video intercept
maybe
driver
there's a
or something
video
didn't
intercept
get installed
driver issue.
properly. I'm not sure.
Would make
Maybe
sense.
that's what it is. That'd be interesting. Yeah, that's probably
I
what
don't
it
know,
is.
but I installed it the way it was meant to be installed. So if it didn't install properly, then there's a bug in their installer. I don't know what it is, but I can't recommend the screen reader.
But at least if you'd installed it and there was an issue with, like, for example, Jaws, if there's an issue with theirs, it'll tell you. It should at least say something.
Exactly.
Yeah.
If there's an issue,
Yeah.
please contact support. And then at that point, you can contact support. And this
Yeah,
demo
but there's
will
only one
happen.
problem with that, Dennis. If I try to contact support and I can't use my arrow keys, what do I do then?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And they don't
I mean, the
have, I
screen
don't
reader
think,
installer itself was fine. It was accessible enough. It kept giving little chimes throughout the installer, and it read out the things. But as soon as it got to screen reader installer step 3 or 4, then it rebooted randomly. That I don't
good.
like.
Yeah.
no, because I would expect it to reboot after step 4
Yeah,
of 4.
yeah,
But
exactly.
3 of 4, it doesn't make sense.
I would expect it to ask.
Exactly.
Yeah,
that would be
exactly. I mean,
nice.
Jaws asked,
Yeah.
Jaws is installed successfully. Do you want to restart? Or your system has made changes that require you to restart? Something along those lines. I don't remember the word for word,
Well,
but
most software is going to ask you that anyway. It's just
Yeah.
common sense, I would have thought. But yeah.
yeah.
Now, there's a message down here at the bottom, Nimmer, from
There's 3 messages.
from the same person, I believe. And I
Yes,
think
from
he's probably
Kamar
gone.
Hussein. He says, "Hi guys," and then he says, "Hey, one person from you voice like Simiana Heroes Call." Have no idea.
Yeah, well, that's what I was wondering. What the hell was that?
A hero's call's a fun game, but
And then there's something
Oh,
else
maybe.
that says, "It looks like JAWS installation, multi-files installation for one program, NVDA is best." Yeah, I understood the last part of what you said, and yes, NVDA is best. Yep, I
No,
agree.
not good. Very bad.
My only problem with NVDA, and I'm a JAWS user, I've given it a run. You can't, it's not customizable. For example, when I open a message in Outlook, it automatically reads. There's no way to turn that off.
You can actually turn off the reading of web pages, which will work in Outlook as well. So yes, you can do that in the NVDA settings.
Okay, because I've turned it off on mine, and it automatically will still read the first part of a message when I open it, even with that setting
that's
off.
interesting. I must say I didn't have that issue, but it's
Yeah.
on my end. But I don't use NVDA much myself.
I switch around between both of them. I probably about 50% each.
Yeah.
But I am running
Just a-
Outlook 2016, and they claim it's more optimized for Office 365.
Oh, I'm running Office 365, so
Yeah.
yeah. Is that all we've got from Mr. Hussein or whatever he's this person?
Looks like that's all we got from Hussein. And anyway,
very
let's
good.
see. Marco has a demo of the health app. Wow, this
Yeah, I
podcast's
think
getting
we'll
long.
Yeah, I was going
Yeah.
to say, do we want to
we getting-
hold this off until next week, or do we want to fly through it now? Because this is
Nah, let's do the
it's
health app.
25
Why not?
past.
So I'm good,
All right.
Jack.
All right, I'm just
Yeah,
going
we
to
can
mute
do it.
all of
Let's
you
go.
guys.
Hello.
Can you
Yeah,
hear
hello?
me?
All right, let's fly through this demonstration because, yeah, as Nimmer said, this podcast is getting rather lengthy. So I've opened up the app.
Steps taken today 31 button.
So we'll go from the very top of the app, and this is...
Hey, I'm
of course,
unmuted.
Oh, very good. So this is, of course, Samsung Health, which is, I think, probably one of the better apps in terms of fitness, especially if you're a Samsung user like myself. So from the very top, you've got
Navigation drawer button.
a navigation drawer button. We'll go through that in a second, but we'll go through the main screen first.
Samsung Health. Steps take active time. Steps taken today 31:24. Target steps 6,000.
So I've done half of my target today.
Active time. Active 33 minutes. Target 60 minutes. Calories burned 1351. Distance covered 2.34 kilometers.
Yep, that'll be about right.
Exercise. View history.
So I can view the history of my exercise.
Start running.
And these are the things that I've got set up so far. So I've got running,
Start walking. Start cycling.
I've got cycling.
More exercises.
Now there are more exercises, and I've got to actually add one here.
Select exercise. Navigate up button. Exercises. More options button. Running. Favorites. Walking. Favorites. Cycling. Favorites. Treadmill.
So you can do treadmill.
Unfavorite. Hiking.
You can do hiking. That'll be good for Nimmer.
Unfavorite. Swimming.
Swimming. I'm not exactly sure how that one would work.
Unfavorite. Exercise bike.
You can do exercise bike.
Unfavorite. Elliptical trainer.
Elliptical trainer.
Unfavorite. Weight machines.
Weight machines.
Unfavorite. Circuit training.
Circuit training.
Unfavorite. Add workouts.
And you can add workouts.
Navigate up button.
So we'll get out of that real quick.
Active time. Exercise. Start walking. Starts more exercises. Food. Calorie intake 0 kilocalories. Target 2449 kilocalories.
So these you can enter in your food if you tab in or
Food.
enter in here.
Navigate food. Expand chart button. More options button. Chart. Swipe left or right with 2 fingers for more data. 12, 24, 24, 49. Constraint over today.
So this basically gives you a chart. You have to enter in
Back
all
button.
your food as to how much, what you're eating each time, etc. And then it calibrates and calculates how many calories you've had, etc., etc.
Start walking. Start some more food. Calorie and add button. Sleep. Were you asleep from 0110 to 0740?
Yes, I was. It seems to always know pretty well how long I've been asleep for.
Confirm estimated sleep time button.
So I'll confirm that.
Sleep total sleep time 6 hours 30 minutes. Bedtime 0110. Wake time 08 92.7 kilogram. Record weight button. Water intake 0 glasses.
Okay, so I haven't entered in how much water I've had today, but I'll do that later on.
Water decrease dim button. Water manage items button. Home selected. Tab 1 of 3.
And these are the tabs at the very bottom of the screen. So we've got home,
Together not selected. Tab 2 of 3.
together,
Fitness not selected. Tab 3 of 3.
fitness. All right, so let's go into that app drawer at the very top
Navigation drawer
left-hand corner and see what we can do in there.
Achievements. Profile. Samsung account profile button. Samsung Health. Samsung account profile button.
Okay, so that's my profile there.
Samsung Health settings button.
There's health settings,
Profile. Achievements.
achievements,
Weekly summary.
weekly summary.
For you. New notification.
That's basically notifications,
Events.
events.
Why haven't you
Except
done
me.
all your exercise for the day?
Because I haven't done it yet. The day is only half open him.
Events. Accessories.
Accessories, so you can tag in accessories. This is particularly interesting,
Accessories.
so we'll go and have a look and see what's in here.
Navigate up button. Accessories. Sort by button. Search button. Activity tracker.
So you can, these are things that you can buy and then just pair up with this app. So there's
Galaxy Fit Samsung.
Galaxy Fit,
Galaxy Fit Samsung. Samsung Gear Fit 2 Pro Samsung. Samsung Gear Icons 2018 Samsung. Urban HR Patron. View more. Expandable list. Bike sensor. Blue South Carolina Wahoo. Buntra Jatua Trap Digital. Buntra Jatua Trap S Digital Cadence Sensor Bluetooth registered. Cycling speed / cadence. View more. Expandable heart rate monitor. Smart sensor heart rate for
So
multi-sport
these are all
Uruto.
sorts of things that you can buy. You can add
Back button.
obviously heart rate, etc., etc. We won't go through all of those because there's a billion of them
Sleep
there.
total sleep times weight. Night sleep to add but food. Calorie intake 0
Okay, and that's
exercise.
basically
History.
the
Navigation
most
4 button.
interesting portions of there.
Together. Not selected.
Let's see
Tab
what's
2
in
of 3.
these tabs down the bottom.
Home
So we're
selected.
in home at the
Tab together.
moment.
Fitness. Not
Let's go
selected.
to
Tab 3 of
fitness.
3. Full body calorie burning at fitness programs. View more. Fitness. Fitness programs. View more. Fitness programs. Disclaimer. Important notice: Samsung Health programs are provided by third parties, and those third parties are solely responsible for their content. From time to time, we may add, remove, or change programs, but we always try to offer options for every fitness goal. Only you can judge whether a program is safe for you. Before starting any program, be sure to read and understand its terms of use and or confirm button. Disclaimer. Important notice: Samsung Health
All right,
program
so
back button.
that's just a disclaimer. We won't worry going through all
Full
of that
body
at the
calorie burning
moment.
exercises for beginners 1 week. Fitness.
So
Selected.
these are all
Tab
the
3 of 3.
sorts of fitness programs. I haven't actually tried these yet. I've got another app that I use for certain bits and pieces of my workout per day, but
Baby steps to 5K 10 weeks. Height adaptive training 2 weeks. Run 5K 10 weeks. Burning calories 20 minutes a day 1 week. Losing weight with just 20 minutes of workout a day 1 week. Burning calories 20 minutes a
let's
day
go
1 week.
burning calories for 20
Program
minutes, see
details.
what it
Disclaimer.
comes up with.
Important notice.
Okay,
Confirm
so
button.
you've got to confirm. Let's confirm that one.
Navigate up button. Program details. Burning calories 20 minutes a day. This program consists of exercises that will help you keep your heart rate in the calorie burning zone. You can boost your metabolism and burn calories even after finishing these exercises. Powered by Less Life. Program overview. 3. Total
Less
workouts.
Life, huh?
1.
Very
Number of
good.
weeks. Medium. Difficult. Program overview. 3. Total workouts. 1. Number of weeks. Medium. Difficulty. Average workout duration 19 minutes. Equipment required. Program category. Weight loss. Information button. Workout schedule. Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Sunday, February, Monday, March the 1st. Planned workout. Double tap to view details.
Okay, so let's
March the
go to
1st.
March the 1st.
Navigate up button. March the 1st. Add program button. Day 1 increasing your heart rate. Let's increase your heart rate to burn calories. Duration 19 minutes. Difficulty medium. Equipment also optional. Squat 20 reps. 48 seconds. Double tap to download preview video. Activity intro image button. Jumping jack 30 reps. 54 seconds. Double tap to download preview video.
All right, so these are things that you can do at home quite easily.
Activity intro image but rest 30 seconds.
Oh, you get to rest for half a minute. Oh, very good.
Squat 20 reps. 48 seconds. Double tap to download preview video. Activity intro image but jumping jack 30 reps. 50 activity intro image rest 30 seconds. Mountain climber 28 reps. 22 seconds. Double tap to download preview. Activity intro image but squat 30 reps. 1 minute. Activity intro jumping jack 40 reps. Activity intro rest 30 seconds.
This sounds like a lot of work to me,
Back
so
button.
we might just get out of that
Program
activity.
details.
That sounds really bad. I don't like that one, so we'll get out
Back
of
button.
that. So there's a whole bunch of activities that you can
Back
do in
button.
that third tab.
Fitness selected. Tab 3 of 3.
Under fitness. Let's see what we can do
Together. Not selected.
under
Tab 2
together.
of 3. Marco C. Newbie level 1. Together. Marco C. Challenges. Me top 64%, 100%. My age group average. 43%.
Oh, well, I'm above my age group average. That's good.
All users average. 41%. Friends connect and walk together. Find friends. 18 plus. Dash. Close. Target. 50000. Steps. +8. New. Jungle. March. Participants 788638. Comma join this challenge to get fit with others. Join. Home. Not selected.
So there's
Tab 1 of
a
3.
challenge there that you can join. You can find friends. I wonder if I've got anyone
Me
else
top
that
64. My age group
is
average.
using this
For all
app.
users
Let's
average.
see.
For friends connect and find friends.
Find friends.
Navigate up button. Friends. More options button. My friends. Tab 1 of 2. Add friends. Tab 2 of 2 ways to connect my contacts. QR code. Invite. Connect button. At your activity level. Double tap mail. Brooke. Lane. Speedy. Navigate up but friends. More
Right,
of my
so
friends.
let's
Add
go
friends. Tab 2 of 2
to-
selected. My friends. Add friends. Tab 2 of 2 selected.
Oh, it's
Ways
already
to connect
there.
my QR code.
Okay.
Invite. Connect button. At your activity level. Double tap
So
to
it
view
doesn't
details.
look like I've got
Back
anyone
button.
in here, so that's very sad. Not many people are using the Samsung one, obviously. But I think you guys get a sense of what this app's about. It's a pretty good app. It seems to be, out of all the ones that I've tried, and that includes the Google Fit one, and a few others that I downloaded off the App Store, or off the Play Store, I should say, it does seem to be the most accurate. I do use another app, and I might demo that at another time, which is good for the treadmill, and also gives you instructions as to what to do, and etc., and you can actually edit it, and I've edited it quite a lot because I like to go pretty fast on that thing when I'm doing it. And it also does biking, it does rowing as well, which is pretty cool. This one doesn't do rowing from the look of it, which is a shame. It does do biking though, but you do need to have the necessary equipment for it. But obviously if you buy it, it should effectively work. But it certainly does the step counting pretty well. Seems to keep everything in order pretty nicely. And I think Samsung's got a reasonable product there, Nim. Seems to do what it's supposed to do. So a little bit there about Samsung Health.
Very good. Thanks a lot for that, Marco. It's definitely an interesting app. Yeah, I've used Samsung Health. I also use Google Fit, and occasionally I use other ones too. Some of those other categories, and the Samsung Health does not auto-track some of those categories. Those are just for you to input. So things like swimming, it's not
You
going to
have to
track
add
your
it.
swim.
Yeah, no.
But you will add how many laps that you've done or how long you've swam or whatever else.
And a lot of these things you have to manually input, which is fine. That's all good and well. But it does, as I said, it seems to be. I don't mind the Google Fit one either, but I do find this one a little bit more intuitive. So, which is probably why I've stuck with it for now. And works pretty well.
Very good. All right, now we're up to the Did You Know section. Did you know?
All right. Now, did you
No, I didn't know. All
oh,
right, who's that?
Yeah, is that some guy that came out from the States 100 years ago before Trump?
A long time before Trump, I guess.
Very good.
Yeah. Well, are we still good for me to do this here? I know we're getting...
Yeah, go for it.
Okay. All right. I will be brief. So I wanted to cover in the did you know section here something that might or might not be something you already know, and that is how to use the mobile hotspot on your phone, kind of the benefits and the drawbacks of that, and then do a brief demo of that on my Android phone, show a little bit how to set it up on the iOS phone, and then run a quick speed test through it just so you guys can sort of see what kind of internet you can expect. So first, what is a hotspot? And what this is it will essentially turn your phone into a mini Wi-Fi or USB router. So if you don't have a Wi-Fi network at home for whatever reason, you're on the go and you need to use internet, you can connect through the hotspot depending on your phone plan. I have heard from some people, depending on where you are in the world, if LTE phone data is more common than really fast home internet, this could actually be one of the faster, more economical ways for you to get a computer online. So I am going to just open this up on my phone here. Of course, my phone locked while I was talking here. Come on. Come on, sampling. There we go. All right, now I do have a mixer coming in the next few days, but until then, you're going to have to deal with the screen reader in my microphone. So, I am going to go open up my Google Assistant, and I have it set for typing because I don't like voice dictating to my Google. So I'll do...
While he's opening that up, one thing to note is that when you're using the hotspot feature, it is generally, depending on your phone plan, deprioritized behind your regular phone data.
Yes.
So your speeds will be a little bit slower than if you were actually using your phone. And it's just something to know that your hotspot data will be a little bit slower. But if you have pretty fast mobile data, then you'll be pretty good for that as well.
Yeah, mine's actually my speeds are actually a little faster than my home internet, but not my not my latency. So I'm
right now. You want to turn that volume up. If you want to turn that volume up, just crank it way up there.
Showing items 1 to 17 of 35. Home screen layout app.
All right.
Wallpaper. Home and lock screen wallpaper. Display, notifications, sounds and vibration, connections, Wi-Fi, Bluetooth.
So I'm in my settings.
List.
Go to the top of my settings
Search,
here.
Settings. Search, list, connection, sound, connections, Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, airplane mode.
Connections is what I want. I'm going to double tap on that.
Connections, navigate up, button.
Hey, my Samsung phone opened something with a double tap. That's cool.
Connections, search, Wi-Fi, not checked, Wi-Fi calling, not checked, Bluetooth, checked, Bluetooth.
Scrolling
switch.
through all these things, Wi-Fi calling, Bluetooth. I'm looking for something that says hotspot and tethering.
NFC and contact, checked, NFC, airplane mode, not checked, mobile networks. Data usage. Mobile hotspot and tethering.
Mobile hotspot and tethering. That's what we want. How's my speed?
You're fine.
Mobile hotspot and
Okay.
tethering.
All right. So here's hotspot and tethering I've opened.
Mobile hotspot and tethering. Mobile hotspot. Checked. Mobile hotspot. Switch.
So mine is on.
USB tethering. USB not connected. Not checked. Off. Switch. Disabled.
Now that it says something USB tethering. Now the advantage to USB tethering is it's a bit faster connection. So when you're using the mobile hotspot, it's however fast your phone connection is, plus the extra time it takes for a Wi-Fi signal to get sent out on top of that. Where if you can plug it into your phone or plug it into your computer, turn on the USB tethering, it is quite a bit faster because it's just about the same speed as your normal phone connection plus whatever data however you say that word, deprioritization Nimmer was talking about.
Ethernet tethering. No USB Ethernet.
So I'm just going to open up
Mobile hotspot.
mobile hotspot here.
Mobile hotspot. Navigate. Mobile hotspot. Mobile hotspot on. Switch.
Mobile hotspot is on.
Connect to this mobile hotspot on another device using the password or QR code. Network name. Ansible.
network name, Ansible. That's a reference to one of my favorite sci-fi novels.
Password. Pick a $1.
Oh,
Band.
wow, I guess you can hear my password. I had forgotten about that. That's cool.
Band. 5GH.
So now band.
Configure. Band. 5GHZ preferred devices that don't support 5GHZ won't be able to find or connect to your hotspot.
Now this is my favorite thing about Android hotspot versus iOS hotspot is under this band, you can choose whether it's going to connect through 2.4 gigahertz Wi-Fi or 5 gigahertz Wi-Fi. 2.4 gigahertz is the older, more crowded Wi-Fi, especially if you're in a big building full of studio apartments like I am. 2.4 gigahertz Wi-Fi is exceptionally slow. 5 gigahertz is newer, got less congestion going on, so it's a bit better connection for you.
Configure.
Um,
Band. 5GHZ preferred devices that don't support 5GHZ won't be able to find or connect to your hotspot.
Now, and if I wanted to change that to 2.4 for whatever reason, I could just double tap on there. Now, let me just show you very quickly how to get there on an iOS device. And, of course, mine. I'm just unlocking it quick because, of course, it locked on me.
Yep, and you'll want to turn it way, way up.
Oh, I will. I'm one of these paranoid people who passcode locks all of my things. And
One
So
thing
there
that
we
you'll
go.
want to note is whether or not your data plan allows you to have hotspot, because some mobile
This is
data
true.
plans do not allow for hotspot.
Sunday.
Others do, but
February
it's a limited
28th.
amount, so you just want to be sure that you have a
Notification.
phone plan that allows you to get the hotspot.
FaceTime.
right.
Double tap to open.
So now there are a few ways to get to the hotspot settings in iOS. You can, if you open up your settings, there's an option that says hotspot settings right between Wi-Fi and cellular, I believe. You can also find it in the control center. If you have a hotspot you can turn on, there's going to be a little toggle in the control center, or you can just do this. Open hotspot settings.
Let's take a look at the personal hotspot settings. Settings. Personal settings. Back button.
So I'm just going to swipe through
Personal
here.
hotspot. Heading. Personal hotspot on your iPhone can provide internet access to other devices signed into your iCloud account without requiring you to enter the password.
I haven't messed with that
Allow others to join.
because I don't,
On.
well, I don't use this for
Double
hotspotting
tap
anymore.
to
It's not
toggle
my
setting.
primary phone.
Wi-Fi password. IP8MF55D0C03C.
That is the Wi-Fi pass. So
Oh,
I
sweet.
could.
What's your? Can you just give me your IP address and DNS settings, and I'll get in. Very good. I like.
Yeah, now I could double tap on that to make it an actual.
I assume you want me to edit that out of the podcast, yeah?
I mean, you could. This is not a hotspot that's on. It's a it's not connected to any cell
I'll make
network
it
of
work. Don't
any
you worry.
kind.
Now,
I'm not too concerned about that, but yeah.
Good.
I'll ask. One's a related question, and one, Marco, you might want to edit out. I'll ask the one you might want to edit out first. What mixer board are you getting, and what was the price of it? Instead of
I'm gonna buy it from a friend. So he's gonna get me yeah, he has an old one he's wanting to sell. So that's probably how I'm gonna handle that.
That's always been the issue. From what I've heard, and correct me if I'm wrong, they're a couple $100.
Yeah, that's about the entry level. I mean, Marco knows more than me about those, but
Well, a lot of times you're better off getting an interface, depending on what you want to use a mixer for. But
Yeah.
just to plug in, just to patch through phone stuff, you can really just do that through an interface.
All right,
Yeah, you
maybe
can do it
email me.
through an interface.
Maybe email me at some point
Yeah.
when you have time and recommend me what I should get. So
Yeah, we can talk about that later on. Yeah.
yeah. But
Now with iOS, correct me if I'm wrong. There is no way to have a non-iOS device automatically connect. Am I wrong about that?
that's right from as far as I remember. Now you can set it so that if like a Windows computer or something will see the Wi-Fi network, it'll connect automatically. But that just like it would do with any normal Wi-Fi network. But it's not going to be like iOS where where you
Yeah,
Or
as
it'll
soon as
just
the device sees it,
completely-
it'll automatically connect. It won't do that.
Yeah. No.
Yeah.
Because I used to connect in the, well, some years ago when I was doing live broadcasts outside, you had to make sure it was visible. Like you had to make it
Right.
automatic. But it won't
Yeah.
auto-connect, no. Unless
That's
that's
cool.
changed, which I assume it hasn't, so.
Yeah, thanks for
No.
that
Yeah.
there, Kurt. Definitely appreciate that. Or you want to run a speed
So
test on
I
that
just
real
wanted
quick?
to run a quick speed test. My iPhone is connected through my Android hotspot. I have a good hotspot connection. I just want to
February 28.
show what people can expect here. Open speed test.
This is a great app, by the
Draw-
way.
Tap the new slide up the drawer. We have moved a few. Okay. Button.
It's just a pop up.
Button.
I love the speed test app.
Finding provider. Banner image. Button. Safeguard your speed. Go. Item. Selected. Speed.
Oh, I haven't done this on these.
Go. Speed test VPN defends you. Safeguard your banner image. Finding provider Wi-Fi. iPhone
come on.
SE. 2020.
They're
Button.
taking forever.
Button.
Pop. Is it that button? I haven't.
Double free. Enable. Learn.
Oh,
speed
I don't
button.
want to
think
be
you
in
need
here.
the go
Video,
button.
Video.
Yeah,
VPN
just click on
button.
start.
Yeah, I was wanting to change to another
Double
server,
tap
but yeah.
speed button.
You're right.
Possibly. Check. Possibly.
How did I get out of here?
533. Close.
I don't know.
There we
the,
go.
the go button should be right near there.
Double tap free. Enable. VP. Video.
Yeah,
Video.
I'm gonna open up the app
switcher.
again.
Speed test. Act. Speed test. Act. Act.
Open speed test. I've forgotten a lot of the iOS gestures over the few months I've missed it. Oh, come on. Yeah, I was wanting to open up a
Speed
list of
test.
servers so that,
Button.
but
Find it. Go.
I'll just press
Button.
the go button here since
Go.
we're short on time.
Starting paying test.
Oh, the servers don't typically matter so
Paying
much when you're
result.
close to them. They'll a
28
little bit, but not very
milliseconds.
much. So
10
I wouldn't worry too
milliseconds
much about them.
Testing download.
Well, it just gave me 28 milliseconds ping, which is significantly faster
Download
than I
result.
normally get.
52.2 megabits per second.
52 megabits
Gee, that's
download.
so terrible. I don't know if it's usable.
Right?
Usually what I'll do is I'll run 3 of them.
24.6 megabits per second.
Yeah.
0%
So
loss.
52 megabits
Test
download,
complete.
24 megabits upload. Now that's running through the T-Mobile server where the speed test, gets like fastest priority data. On other servers, it's not quite that fast, but it's pretty close. Definitely get around 8 megabits per second upload, usually around between 50 to 100 down, usually ping around 50 milliseconds typically. So
I assume their network, is that 4G?
that's mix of 4G and a little bit of 5G, low band
low
5G
band.
thrown in.
Yeah,
But so yeah, that's honestly, there were a couple months where I didn't have home internet, and I had a good amount of data on my hotspot plan, and just that stood in for my internet. And if you have to make it work, you can make it work.
Yeah, no, that's good.
I mean, a good way to tell your speed is to run like 3 tests, add them up, and divide it by 3.
Yeah.
That'll be a pretty good average of what you're looking at speed-wise.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Well, we have some listener emails, so we got a marathon this week, so let's go through them. And then we'll be good. Yeah. And by the way, if you're listening to this, thank you so much for continuing to join us. Definitely appreciate you being here. And if you like the content, feel free to donate. Feel free to share it out. And we hope that you have grabbed your popcorn, because this has been a marathon. But let's
Well, you might have needed 2 boxes of popcorn today, I reckon, Nim.
Yes. Let's go through listener emails. First, I've got a form submission. We've got a, by the way, one of the form submissions was kind of interesting. There was something about swipe to double tap, something, that was it. But this one is a real form submission. And the first question, what do you think of the Blind Tech Guys podcast? Love the podcast. Heard about it on a mailing list recently where Marco posted an introductory email. And can't believe I didn't find you guys sooner. Thanks for the reviews, demos, and unbiased opinion. One thing I would like to say, though, and please don't take this as a criticism, is that whenever I watch you guys on YouTube, being a partially sighted person, I find it very distracting as to how the video is presented, and would be great if you could all have your video on with good lighting, or just have your video off with your logo showing. Having Nimmer's camera on is kind of strange when watching because of the poor lighting. I say this to give you feedback from a visual perspective. That's interesting. So far as I know, the camera is off. So if someone is watching this YouTube video and is actually
I thought your camera was always off.
Yeah, the camera is typically off. But if if somebody's watching this or has any issues with the YouTube, maybe give us some specifics or get together with us.
My camera says it's on right now.
Oh,
Kurt's on.
Okay.
Well, mine's off. Well, I haven't even got a camera, so mine's definitely off.
But anyway, we'll try to figure that out, I guess. See what we can do with that. But the logo should be showing. And, yeah, we don't really have the ability to all have good lighting and have cameras on. So we just put up on YouTube mostly for the podcast content. So we definitely apologize for the visuals. I used to apologize for that up front, but we got away from that. So anyway, what do you think of the podcast hosts? Love you all. All of you have a part to play on the pod. Marco's very funny, and I love his sense of humor and his way of describing apps and software that he reviews. Kurt is fantastic at his various reviews, and Nimmer is very knowledgeable. Dennis, you're not very good. Kish kish.
Hey, there's no comment there for Dennis. Is that because this person didn't know Dennis was coming, I suppose? But
Yeah.
This
Probably.
submission came from Elise. So thank you very much, Elise. Definitely appreciate your feedback.
yeah.
And let's see. Got an email from Angelo. Hello, Angelo. Let's see what he's got to say. Do you have any experience creating a Google group? Maybe you could take a look at Audacity. Thanks for a terrific podcast.
Jesus, that's going from one extreme to the other. Audacity in a Google group. Wow, that's like literally like going from doing a certain Russian thing to I don't know, going and having a beer.
Boy.
I mean, wow, you can go from one extreme to the other more than that, really.
Well, Angelo, definitely appreciate your feedback. We're going to do a midweek episode on Audacity and other editing stuff, so we'll definitely keep tuned for that. And in the next couple of weeks, next week or two, we will be doing probably a midweek podcast on that. So yes, and as for Google Groups, well, we do have a Google group since our mailing list is on Google Groups. So yes, we do have experience setting that up. I'm not sure if what you're asking for is a demo of Google Groups, or if you have questions on that, maybe let us know. But yes, you can set up a Google group from, in an accessible way.
Well, there's a thought then. Then we could probably do a midweek podcast. Let's do one on Audacity, which I was actually talking about doing next week, and let's do one on Google Groups as how to set up a Google group, and we'll go through it because it might be of course, a lot of people know about Google.io, Groups.io, sorry. But maybe you don't know so much about Google Groups, so could definitely do that.
Now, this next feedback here is from Steve, and this feedback is about Turkish Delight. No, I'm sorry. Screen Reader's Delight. Yes.
Oh.
And he says, "Hi all, I really enjoyed the recent Screen Reader's Delight podcast and found it very interesting. The only negative was that I found Marco's speech synthesizer was far too fast, and I couldn't understand a single word of the speech. The other synthesizer in the recording were at a speed that was very understandable. I strongly believe there is no such thing as the best Windows screen reader, as all the screen readers for Windows have strengths and weaknesses in different areas. I have a suggestion for a podcast to follow on from the Screen Reader's Delight podcast. I think it would be interesting to hear your thoughts about the Dolphin screen reader regarding how well it performs with performing a particular task. I think this screen reader is often overlooked in screen reader comparisons. If you haven't purchased the screen reader, there is a fully functional trial you can download. See the link below. Regards, Steve." Well, Steve, yes, as you heard, we did do a demo of Dolphin, and I sent it right back home to Mama.
Yeah.
If you have feedback for us about something that we didn't do, or if you'd like to demo how it works on your particular machine, we'd be happy to put that up on a podcast
absolutely.
episode.
Yeah.
But
And I know
it
Steve
certainly
quite well,
doesn't work
actually.
here.
Steve actually is from Melbourne, and I know him quite well. So, Steve, feel free to... we'll have a chat, actually, because he plays... I play table tennis with him, and I can certainly... if we can try and do a recording or something, that'd be worthwhile. Because I know that you've used the screen reader a lot, but we just had no joy with that at all. Well, Nimmer didn't, anyway. Certainly.
Yeah, it would be, if anyone else has the same experience, or if you have a different experience, let us know. I'm just on my machine; it's not working very well, and so yes, that was a demo, and we appreciate that you listened to the Screen Reader Delight and that you enjoyed it. So very good.
Indeed.
Thank you for your listenership. And as for the screen reader speech rate, we always try to get that right, and unfortunately, you can never really make someone happy.
Yeah.
With speech
I
rate.
did have it a little bit
faster.
fast, unfortunately, and I did actually completely, for some reason, it skipped my mind to actually slow it. Well, I did slow it down a touch, but obviously not enough. So.
You can never really make people happy with screen reader speech. It's always either too
Well, you're
slow
never
or
going
too
to get right.
fast. Or,
I mean,
but we will certainly keep that in mind and make sure that it is slower. So thank you for your feedback on that. Got another email here from Pranav, long-time
Pranav.
Hey, Pranav.
Yeah.
He starts out, hiya. I really enjoyed a window into Windows. The setup experience of Windows 10 is ultra cool. I always like to know how a program and or operating system is installed. It gives me a feeling of grounding. When I began working, it took me some time to adjust to other people installing enterprise-class software. I still have the feeling that I do not know those programs because I have not installed them. 2. Could you do an episode on remote access options? You would cover JAWS remote access, NVDA remote, as well as other remote access options in NVDA, like the one for terminal services. The add-on is quite expensive, but it is what it is. My problem, however, with most remote solutions is that they need a component installed on the server. This is always not possible, and I wonder if anyone anywhere is working on resolving this problem. In addition, what about remote access on Linux and the Mac? In Linux, I have heard that you can tunnel Orca's audio through a client system, and I have once got my Ubuntu desktop displayed on my Windows machine, but I then had to use OCR to see what was on it. Number 3. I enjoyed Screen Reader's episode, in particular the demonstrator of narrator. I have been using NVDA for several years. I had not realized that screen review mode was also hierarchical. I do like object navigation, which usually allows me to get to where I want. Number 4, could you cover which magnifier is best? I'm talking about Windows magnification versus Fusion versus whatever else is out there. This is not for me, but for my wife, who is a magnification user and is very happy with Windows magnification. I do not know if any of the other programs are any better, and I am not sure if I even know what better is. Pranav. Okay, let's start from the very beginning of this email.
He's just got a bit there. Wow.
I'm glad that you enjoyed Windows and window into Windows. Yeah, we do try to do setup stuff. I think it's really important, so we definitely appreciate your story on that. Remote access options would be a pretty cool demo, which is number 2. I think that would be a very cool thing to do, and so we can certainly do that. NVDA remote, JAWS. No, I don't think any of us have the remote add-on for Citrix, but if anyone does have that and is willing to do that, or if you'd like to donate or
the other one
that,
we could actually do it on that demo,
but
I think would be worth doing, because a lot of people use it as well as Zoom. I think it would be worth doing Zoom, Team Viewer, JAWS, and NVDA. I think maybe cover those 4 in a...
We could. Those aren't
midweek.
really great for accessibility, but we certainly could.
No, they're not, but we could at least let people see what they're like anyway, for anyone that wants to do that, because I haven't got Citrix, unfortunately.
As for needing something to be installed on the server, it's just unfortunate part of the beast. So if you want to do any kind of remote access, you have to have something on the server itself.
Yeah.
That's just unfortunately this is what it is. So if someone wants to work on a solution to that, that would be great. But this is kind of
Oh man, that would be the
That would be
best
nice.
thing to come out ever. But sadly, I think we might be waiting a while.
Yeah.
Yeah. As for Linux and Mac, we may do that as midweek or something like that. We can do remote stuff on Linux and Mac. But with the closed nature of Mac, it's a little bit more difficult to do, but can be done. So yeah.
Actually, speaking of Macs as well, Dennis, are you a Mac user by any chance?
No, I am a Windows user. I thought about getting a Mac for 2 seconds, and
Okay,
Well,
no, the
it's
reason
how
I
much
ask
Mac
is
is
we've
going on.
only got one person that has a Mac, and that's probably Nima. So there you go. That was
Yep.
just a general inquiry. Yeah, cool.
Now, I'm glad that you enjoyed the Screen Readers episode. That's excellent. And your fourth point about magnification. Yeah, I know a little bit about magnification, but what I'd like to ask is if any person is using these different tools, because I can talk about what I think, I can compare and what I think, but not being a magnification user, it would only be from what I've heard from other people and what I think to be the differences.
Yeah.
So if you are a magnification user, it would be more powerful if you'd like to come on and talk about the differences. So if you are willing to do that, then let us know. Otherwise, I
Yeah,
can
if
certainly sit
anyone
there
can
and
do
babble
that.
at you. But I think
If
that you would
anyone can
probably
come on and talk about it, though, Nim, that'd be great. Because I'm the same. I know about two or three, and the only reason I know about them is because of an ex-partner, and we were searching around for stuff a few years back. But
Yeah, I mean, I've trained people in
Yeah.
their use, so I certainly could. But I think if somebody's actually using these products is able to come on and talk
Yeah.
about them, that would be great. So if you're willing to, then let us know.
yeah, and especially Pranav, if your wife's right into it, we'd love to have her on the show. If she knows what works for her, and it'd be great. I think as a guest, maybe pre-record or something. It'd be good fun.
We've got another email not another, but we have an email from Thabo, I believe his name is. Very sorry if I'm saying your name wrong. Thabo. Says here, thank you, buddies, for this fascinating demo. It's after 10:30 p.m. in Botswana, and I just finished listening to your podcast. Please know that I am impressed, and someday I'll donate. I am your new listener from today onwards. I hope my Galaxy A21 will receive this update. Again, thank you, my new friends. With much appreciation and support, Thabo, I'm sorry, I don't know how to say your name, but very good. I'm glad that you're joining us from Botswana, and I'm glad that you're enjoying the podcast.
I
Now,
assume
for all
he's talking about
listeners-
the Talkback 9.1 one, I think.
Yes,
that's the
now I'm
demo
going to
he's
bring that up
referring to.
again. If
Yeah,
you
we
are
should-
using
yeah.
TalkBack 9.1, you don't have the gestures yet, and you have installed 9.1, it's because you don't have a latest Samsung device with One UI, the latest version of that, which is going to be Android 11, or you don't have the March security update on your device. If you don't have those two things, you will not have multi-finger gestures. If you do have those two things, one of those two things, you will have multi-finger gestures. We did have a lot of people saying that wasn't really clear in the last podcast, and so I'm very sorry that wasn't very clear, but let me be very clear. Just because you have TalkBack 9.1 does not mean that you will have multi-finger gestures. Although you will have multi-finger gestures once you are able to get your device updated, once you get that March security patch and or you have latest Samsung device.
Yeah, and I think it's important for people, and I know that there's been a bit of traffic on our email list requesting, and I answered one today regarding having, a link for 9.1. Just because you have a link for 9.1, you're not going to have the March patch yet.
Right.
That won't, you'd be lucky. In some places, you might only get that in 3 weeks' time. So if you don't want to lose that...
should have it this week, but yes.
But a lot of networks won't push that out. Like over here, it can be, I think I
the
only got
networks
to
don't
February.
need to. The Pixels do get them right away.
Oh, the Pixels,
Lucky
okay. Well, the
you.
Samsung is, doesn't work
I'm
that
still
way.
running on January's.
Well, I only got Feb's last week, so happy days. So, you might be waiting a few weeks. So don't go out rushing off to... my suggestion, don't install it yet. Just wait for a few weeks. Be patient, and you'll get it. There's no rush.
Okay, and by the way, if you are interested in installing it, you don't see it in the Play Store. It's because updates on Android do roll out gradually. So within the next few days, you will have it. So just because you don't have it yet does not mean. I've seen some silly remarks, people saying Google is terrible because they're not rolling it out to my country. No, it has nothing to do with your country. It's not discrimination. It's not anything like that. It's just the fact that Android updates with apps tend to roll out a bit more slowly because they want to make sure that
It's a
they're not
controlled
sending out a
rollout.
broken update to everybody.
Yep.
It's a controlled rollout. You will get it in the next couple of days, in the next few days if you don't have it now. So
Yeah.
please.
And it's not
just
just
to be-
Google apps that do it. Let's
right.
be clear.
And it's just to be clear with people as well, the reason why a lot of these people, well, a lot of app developers do this is because if something drastic goes wrong, it's better it only go wrong to a few thousand or several thousand than a couple of million or
Yes.
billion.
That's
So
right.
don't think it's discrimination. It's not that Google or anyone wants to not get you the product. Don't go, well, you can go rushing out to APK Mirror or other places if you want. But I think we've made it pretty clear now that if you haven't got the March update or you haven't got the latest UAI on Samsung, you'll maybe not be very happy. So,
And then final email from Christian.
hello,
says,
Christian.
Hi, Kristen.
This is a very similar email, but I'll read it out anyway. I noticed that in the podcast about the new TalkBack for Pixel devices, you all said there was no multi-finger gestures. What did you all mean by that? My tutorial says it does have multi-finger gestures. And when you all went through the gesture customization, there were options for 2, 3, and 4 finger gestures. Yep, so it's exactly what I said. You need to have that latest security patch. You need to have the latest TalkBack 9.1. You don't have one of those two things, they won't work. You don't have a Samsung device that has the latest One UI, it will not work.
And actually, you did make that. I actually had to listen to the episode just in case I'd missed it. It was made clear before
Yeah, you were
went through the
pretty
gestures.
explicit
But
there.
yeah, but
you
I think
were.
we've made it very clear now.
Yep, so if you still have questions about that, though, please let us know, and we're happy to answer that. We are very happy to be receiving emails, so I didn't have to dig through the
Yeah.
spam folder to find
Thank
stuff this
God.
week.
Yeah, we didn't have to go into $2 Tina territory.
Yeah, we thought that you guys didn't like us anymore since you weren't leaving us any more
Hey,
feedback.
we didn't even have Kurt say pooch this week. Which was,
Oh, right.
oh man, I'll
Letdown
tell
for
you what,
all.
I had a good cackle over that editing that last week. That was just absolutely brilliant. In fact, somebody said to me on another group, has he taken over your mantle of pooch?
No, I'm going to be self-conscious about that now.
Oh, it was excellent. It was excellent.
Well, I can't believe it. We've been on for 2 hours and 8 minutes.
Wow.
So I would
Yeah.
like to
Yeah,
thank
what-
all of you guys for
That's
joining
like a
us
feature
today.
film.
Yes,
One thing I will say that I liked about the Windows M podcast, you didn't edit out as far as like how long it took to install or set up.
Oh no, you've got to have the
And
full
that-
experience, and that's the same with
that's good
Dolphins
because
today. Yeah.
I mean, say you're doing it and you edit it out. Somebody could think it takes 5 minutes to install, and it just doesn't. So that was a very good thing that you did, and I think that's something that should continue in the future because it gives people a realistic picture of what they're looking at, and they can decide whether it's something they want to do or do you want to buy a computer with it already on it or take it somewhere and have it done.
Yeah.
Because you could be tying up a significant amount of time in it.
Yeah, and
Well,
I
I
just
do want-
before we do close off. Sorry, Nim, I know that we need to close off. I did actually get a comment from somebody, and for some reason they sent it to me privately. I'll just quickly go through that. So apologies, I only just remembered about it. Actually, they were asking about installing Windows. They took their device to the Geek Squad apparently, and they asked about whether they should have Windows installed by the Geek Squad or whether they should do it themselves. And they ended up deciding that they were going to do it themselves just because of the podcast that we did on the Windows. So I just thought I'd pass that on from Angela. And she wanted to thank us she sent me a private email thanking us for the Window into Windows podcast. So thanks,
Well,
very
Angela.
good. Very
It
good.
is
You're welcome,
accessible,
Angela.
and that's
Yeah.
the big thing. And doing it yourself versus having a Geek Squad do it, you'll save yourself a couple bucks too.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, by the way, if you do decide to go to the shit squad, I'm sorry, the Geek Squad, if you do decide to go to the Geek Squad, make sure that you put a note if there's something that you don't want them to touch, because they tend to mess about with settings.
Touch everything.
If there's something that you don't want them to adjust, tell them don't change it, because they will turn things off and they will change
and
settings.
They will install stuff as well. And I saw this. This happens all the time. It's just very painful.
Somebody ended up with
specific
security software that was inaccessible and they couldn't actually get it off. So please, be aware that if you take your computer to shit squad, tell them, do not modify my computer. Do not change my settings. Do not uninstall something unless I give you permission to do so. I don't care. Don't install anything. Don't uninstall anything.
Yeah.
Or at least be aware of what they will do, because that's the thing that, it's just something to be aware of.
Well, they have a tendency, in my opinion, to put, I know it's not really, but it's almost malware. They shouldn't be installing stuff
it's
like...
bloatware at the very least.
Well, that and
it's just wrong.
I just don't like Best Buy in general. They're very pushy.
Yeah, I'm not a fan, and I've never been a fan of the Geek Squads or anything. But if you need them, you need them. That's okay. But just be aware that they will install things and they will remove things. So you need to be very specific about what you want done, and what they will do and what they won't do. So otherwise, you may end up with a system that you don't actually like.
You've probably got mom-pa options that are going to be cheaper, that would be nicer to you too.
They may be. Yeah, certainly.
Yeah, exactly. And if you want to try it yourself, listen to our podcast as you have been and give it a go. I mean, what's the worst that can happen? You have to take it to the Geek Squad. So,
well, I mean, if it's already in the state where you got to reinstall Windows from scratch, it's pretty bad off anyway. So what the hell do you have to lose?
Yeah. That's right.
Yeah.
Well, I do want to thank everyone for listening, and I want to thank you guys for your support. And I want to tell you guys that definitely appreciate you. I know these are hard times. And we definitely thank you joining our community. Our mailing list is still growing, and our Facebook groups, Telegram, WhatsApp, all that. If you'd like to join in our community, the mailing list is sort of changed purpose a little bit. We do include stuff about the podcast, but also we're just forwarding on any kind of tech news or news in general about our community. So if you'd like to be part of something like that, where you do see some information about what's been going on, and you want a news section only every week or every day, rather, then definitely join that mailing list. All these links are on the website, blindtechguys.com. Also consider donating. We definitely appreciate that. We can bring more content and buy more devices and buy that add-on for remote services and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So we definitely appreciate any support that you are able to provide. Happy birthday to anybody that's having a birthday. Thank you guys for watching and listening and joining the podcast. And we'll see you all next week. Thank you, Marco. Thank you, Kurt and Dennis. We hope we haven't driven you away. Thank you for showing up, too.
Absolutely not. I enjoyed it. And
nice. Good to have you.
I'll be back next week. I have some ideas cooking up as far as what we can do for future content and hopefully some interviews. So stay tuned.
Awesome. And Dennis, I want to thank you for coming on, and I'm going to say goodbye to the listeners. I will catch you in a week's time, as my floors are getting done this week, so I'll see you all in a week's time.
All right. Thank you, Marco. Thank you, Nimmer.
Everybody.
We will catch you.